I'm glad we could get that sorted out, OBS. Thank you for your cooperation. With that being done, let's go ahead and play. Um, my objective with this character is nothing more and nothing less than casting Firestorm. That's all I want to do with this character, and I want to do it as fast as possible. Firestorm is a very powerful level 9 dual school conjuration. So sometimes, and by sometimes I mean more often than not, you're not gonna get it with your character. But Deep Elf is special because Deep Elf has pretty good intelligence and pretty good aptitudes. So Deep Elf is kind of like built for doing such ridiculous things. You try to play a tanky Deep Elf, it's not gonna go well for you. But you also don't have the luxury of making a lot of mistakes. However, once you get to Firestorm, it just gets powerful. It's just how it is. Definitely powerful. I'm gonna be putting these things on the wish list. I'm gonna buy them all before identifying them, hopefully, because they always become more expensive once they are identified. Unless it's a bad item, in which case it only costs 1 gold, I think. But it's more likely that it will be a good item. So just walking around casting my magic dart. Obviously, I don't want to melee anything. I'm a deep elf. I have 15 maximum HP, 3 armor class. I do have to say that my D1 had unfortunately very low amounts of HP or experience, sorry. So I didn't level up to level 3. Finding another right here would be scary. Experience level 2 other will almost always kill you, so you're better off not fighting it. Alright, gonna get intelligence, lots of intelligence. I don't think this character will ever care about wearing armor, so I do not feel too compelled to increase his strength. We just got Ignite Poison and Freezing Cloud. Ignite Poison is incredible. That's the rarest part of the combo of Ignite Poison and Poisonous Vapors or Toxic Radiance or Noxious Bog. But yeah, I needed Ignite Poison for those spells to become, good. Now that I have it, the moment that I have access to one of those spells, the character will become significantly more powerful. It's very early in the game, so I still have yet to know what I can do or what I will do, but it is likely that I will go for that thing that I mentioned. Okay. When the orc got in melee range, I got a bit nervous. In versions before, would have been a good idea to just walk away from it, but that kind of thing is not doable anymore. Now there is attacks of opportunity, so you cannot really run away from things that are within melee range, especially not when you have 19 HP. My early game experience has been really, really low. Magic Dart does not miss, so that's a pretty good thing. An important part about Crawl is looking at a situation and realizing, can I beat that? Can I survive that? If so, how do I beat that? How do I survive that? In that scenario, I went downstairs, I saw the one on Dubesa, and I was like, nope, cannot beat that, cannot survive that. So I just immediately went upstairs. I think Dubesa was next to me, but Dubesa will never go up the stairs if it's not accompanied by the one. So I have nothing to fear when it came to one of them chasing me upstairs. Because that's something that you can do in this game. You can go upstairs. And it is something that is very important for you to do. There's 3 upstairs and 3 downstairs, so it is very unlikely that you will be in a position where you're like host, no matter which stairs you take. It can happen, but it is not a very frequent thing. Okay. You pick up a manual stealth. It might be worth it to train a bit of it. Just because I have a very good aptitude for stealth, and I also got a manual, so leveling this up is gonna be dirt cheap. I'm gonna get it to like 8. And we're gonna get in like 2 or 3 fights. I cannot kill that. So just gonna set an exclusion. And in case you're wondering why I'm jumping between fight and fight, it's because Crawl has an auto travel button that I am pressing. Wow, Sigmund's Rove would be something that I would like to use, but yeah, this is gonna be rough. This would be the time where I would read a scroll of teleport if I knew which one it was. This is identify. Fogu. Fogu might be nice. Yeah, Fogu breaks line of sight, so Sigmund cannot see me, and therefore cannot paralyze me. Auto travel is so good. Not sure why more games don't have it. Auto travel is fantastic. It's a fantastic quality of life feature. Crawl is that it removes annoyance and clunkiness from control and replaces it with only gameplay. Like Crawl is gameplay. It's not getting trolled by the game or getting killed because you typoed. In Crawl, you make decisions, and if your decisions are bad, you die because of it. And if your decisions are good, more often than not, you win. So Crawl is just one of the best roguelikes ever designed, in my opinion. Rift Wizard is very similar to Crawl in that regard. But the thing about Rift Wizard is that it completely like sheds away the exploration aspects of roguelikes and focuses on just delivering combat. Crawl still has some exploration and like there's some pathing and things that you can do, but it is still mostly combat oriented instead of being net hacky in its design. Now I have a couple of options. I can try to kill the Hound, but like I know that if I kill the Hound and I somehow survive it because I have very low HP, being a deep elf, I will die to Sigmund, or I would die to Duvesa and the One, which are chasing me, or I can try to continue reading scrolls, try to find teleport. I think that's the correct thing to do, so I'm gonna continue reading scrolls. I got teleport. Sigmund is not fast. The Hound is. So, okay, that was a fantastic teleport. Pretty amazing teleport. My early levels have had very low amounts of experience, unfortunately, and we have seen some very nasty things in the early game. So I'm probably going to have to dive past and go to D5, being experience level 4. This is going to be rough. Oh boy. I have to go to that one. Yeah, these ones are not the ones that have the or they had the one on the Besa, but not anymore. So it's okay for me to take them. And now I need magic mapping or to find the downstairs. And fortunately, I just find the downstairs. Now that I have found the downstairs, I feel like I can continue exploring a bit, trying to reap a bit more experience from this level before going to the next one. Okay, I don't want to venture outside. I feel like it's too dangerous, so I'm just gonna do this. How about... Dude, this is gonna be so rough. Okay, didn't wake up. Oh, it didn't wake up. Let's go. Okay, that jelly could have killed me so easily if it had woken up. Fortunately, it didn't, and so I was able to sneak away from it. I have 2 scrolls of identify, so I'm just gonna use them. We got scroll brand weapon, 2 potions of mutation. Of course, the brand weapon is completely worthless to my character because I don't think I will ever attack something in melee unless I am out of mana. So yeah, this is really not like a melee build. What makes it so dangerous? It deals a lot of damage in retaliation if you hit it in melee. And it also has acid melee and hits for a lot of damage because of that. So yeah, with the amount of HP that I have, it can kill me super fast. Let's see. It's something that you should be able to do in Kochmind, by the way. Being able to inspect enemies that you saw in Fog of War. That's something that I missed a lot when I played Kochmind. As you can see, It can hit for up to 3 damage to deal extra acid damage if any damage is dealt. The damage that the jelly deals is mostly based around that acid. Like if you get hit with the acid, that's gonna hurt you. Um, Pickle with a whip of electrocution. Pickle is actually not a terrible thing for me to find. I think I can deal with Pickle. I think I can maybe deal with Pickle. I'm actually not 100% sure. I do have a potion of magic in case I run out of mana and Scroll of Teleport. Pickles is gonna be a pretty rough fight. Let's see what we got here. 39 HP, lots of evasion. Unfortunate. Stealth not a placebo? What can I tell you? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Okay, please don't one-shot me, because I think Piquel can literally one-shot me. Okay, didn't get one shot by Piquel. That was pretty good. Of course, I gained a ton of experience because Piquel gives a ton of experience. The thing about Piquel's gimmick is that he has a band of dudes. He is a slaver of souls, and he has a couple of lemurs that come with him and fight alongside him. This time, however, I managed to find Piquel first and foremost, so I didn't have to deal with the lemurs that don't give any experience, and so I was able to just kill Pickle first. Yeah, take a look at that. I gained 2 levels. I was so under-leveled that I gained 2 levels. And yeah, the more levels you gain, the more your HP goes up, and in general, the better your character is. Okay, this whip of electrocution is a pretty okay thing to have. It of course gets much better if I was to train it, but I don't feel like training it. Okay, before I buy anything else, maybe I should buy some of these. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to D1, or I'm gonna try to go back to D1. Okay, this is actually fine. I think I can deal with the Hound now. The Hound on its own was never an issue. It was the fact that it was supported by Duan, Dubesa, and Sigmund as well. This level also has Edmund, so yeah. By the way, these guys that we're encountering are uniques. They have a specific name, and they are very strong. Well, they're stronger than the average monster that you find. So they're kind of like bosses in a way. They're not quite bosses, but they're like random encounters that are more difficult than just finding an orc, you know? You guess unless you're trying to staff packs like a madman. Yeah, if you try to run for your life, like defensive stealth is good. Offensive stealth is awful. Don't use stealth offensively. It's gonna get you killed. Just gonna get all these. I don't think I can beat the one in Dubesa yet. The gimmick with those two is that if you kill one, the other one becomes stronger for the rest of the game. Dubesa becomes Berserk permanently, which is pretty bad for you. The one gets better magic, which is not as bad. So usually I like to kill Dubesa first because Dubesa is much more dangerous if she becomes angry. So from D4 to D7, and if you go here, you can see it right here. That's Control O. If you press Control O and you have entered D4, you're gonna see Temple. You don't know what it is, but you know that it generates between D4 and D7. So the Temple is a very important place for me to go because it can have the Altar of Vehumet, and the Altar of Vehumet is what I want to get. It's a very important thing for me to start worshipping Vehumet as soon as possible because Vehumet is just very powerful for what I'm trying to do with this character. Okay. Anytime that something reaches me in melee range, it's very dangerous for me. Yeah. Anytime that I have something in melee range at this early stage of the game, there's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to survive. So it's always scary, regardless of my HP, because deep elves just have that very low amount of HP. Okay, that went well. As you can see, despite the fact that I only have Magic Dart and Searing Ray, my damage output is doing quite well. I have enough conjurations for now. I'm gonna get translocations first. Ooh, I don't think I talked about Mystic Blast on the translocations video. I just published the translocations overview and I didn't talk about Mystic Blast. I might have to take it off and just record something about Mystic Blast and then upload it. Ooh, that's gonna be rough. Or maybe I can follow it up with Conjurations and then I can talk about Mystic Blast. Hmm. Well, that's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to think about. Translocations. We're gonna be getting translocations to 8. Yeah, to 8 is fine because these guys have a lot of intelligence. And I am going to get Mystic Blast. Mystic Blast is one of my starter spells. Very strong spell. I just set a skill target to 9, but then trained only 8.8 and stopped. I'll go back to it later. It's just that I want Mystic Blast right now. It is important for me to have Mystic Blast as soon as possible. Okay, I should use these. Okay, I got a Scroll of Torment. I couldn't care any less about that. Okay, Torment halves the HP of everything that is affected by Torment. That includes you, so usually you getting your HP halved is much more of a downside than it is an upside to have everything on the screen have its HP halved. With some very notable exceptions in earlier versions of the game, but in the current version I wouldn't say that it is worth it to do such a thing. I would not use it. Without enough magic to sustain it, your seeing ray dissipates. That is not good. That is actually quite bad. I am going to use a potion of mana then. Unfortunate that I had to use it because it's a very rare consumable that mages start the game with in version 0.29 trunk. But I had to do it. Okay, I should be able to deal with this null sergeant. Yeah, it has like scale mail, but I'm okay. I am pressing I'm pressing Kochmine buttons. Oh no, I'm pressing Kochmine buttons. That's not good. Um, I don't think I'm gonna have much issues with that, but it's gonna be an issue for today at least. The fact that I'm pressing Kochmine buttons to do actions. I had the same issue when I was playing Kochmine. I was pressing crawl buttons, doing like my first couple of days on it. We got some D5 jacks. That's definitely out of depth. I may not be able to beat them, and they also hit really hard, so we shall see how it goes. I killed 2 of them. My Mystic Blast is already castable, though it is likely to seriously hurt me if I miscast it, so the game will constantly warn me, hey, are you sure you want to cast that spell? Because it can seriously hurt you. Yeah, just take a look at this. And that gets old quite fast, but it is just because I have very low amounts of HP, and it is, likely to actually be miscast. But the more the game progresses, the least we should see that. Um, Dude, it didn't even push it away. How? It's not like I have low spell power either. I feel like I got kind of unlucky there. I have no potions, no curing, no heal wounds. That's unfortunate. No fear, no blink. I might die here. I shouldn't have taken the fight. I got a bit confident because I killed a couple of yaks, but very clearly that is going to be a mistake. Or that is going to be, yeah. Okay, I was able to push it, so I should be able to. Okay, I was hoping for this to be open. It was not open. We might be in some serious trouble. With a bit of luck, I might be able to circle to the upstairs without having to fight the jacks. Yeah, jacks are speed 10. Pretty much most of the things that I have seen are things that are as fast as I am. Very few things like the Hound are slightly faster, but the more the game progresses, the more we're going to see variety and complexity in the kinds of threats that the game presents me with. Dude, I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna re-teleport. I don't think we win. Yeah, I had a chance to kill Dubesa, but Dubesa just managed to dodge everything. Um, dude. Pressing Kochmine buttons. Lots of pressing Kochmine buttons. That's gonna get kind of annoying. Yeah, 36 HP, 10 evasion or so. Still wasn't able to hit her enough to actually kill her. Um, but I was able to teleport away. How much money do I have? 43. I guess I can buy those two unidentified items. Unidentified items, as you can see, many of the things that I placed in the wishlist were like 20 gold when I placed them. Now they are much more expensive because they are already identified. So the shopkeeper pretty much only knows what you know, and if you know that an item is something, the shopkeeper will start charging you more for the item that you know what it is. But these I do not know what they are, so they're gonna be cheaper, and more likely than not, they're gonna be actually good. I'm gonna remove from the wish list a couple of these things. Mm, yeah, still wanna buy the amulet, still wanna buy the identify, maybe. But anyway, let's go down again. Hmm. I just went down into the D2 other. Now we can kill it. A big part of this game is knowing when you cannot kill something and then retreating and then going back when you can actually kill it. And even though it's two others, I feel like I can most definitely kill them without a lot of complications. Yeah, there you go, as easy as that. Let me remove the exclusions. I can fully explore this level now. Backtracking, something that you cannot do in Kochmind, and something that is fundamental to the crawl experience. Okay, I have another shot at killing Duvesa. I think I'm just gonna take it, but I am going to be here first. Magic darts, does like no damage. That's not going well. Fortunately, I can just go downstairs, and Duvesa won't follow me. That's pretty rough. I'm gonna set an exclusion so I don't walk upstairs into Dubesa. Still not powerful enough to beat her, apparently. Just getting some unlucky rolls with my searing ray. There's other spells that I can get: Dazzling Flash, Portal Projectile, Meth, Fulminant Prism, Ignite Poison, Freezing Cloud, but they're either too expensive or not something that I'm currently interested in. Maybe I'll get some of them later on. For now, my priority is getting Mystic Blast reliably castable. That's like really the only thing that I want to do. Staff of Fair, that's fine. I'll drop the whip. I have a scroll of identify for this potion. It's ambrosia. I'll drop the whip. Equip the. Sorry. Getting a lot of confusion with my crawl controls after so long playing Kochwind. Okay, yeah. Okay, now there was something else that I wanted to do. Maybe read that scroll. I want to know what it is. Silence. I have not found Blinking yet, which is one of the most powerful scrolls in the entirety of the game. It is a very, very powerful escape option, very reliable for you to use it to escape from stuff. And unfortunately very rare, so you cannot really rely on it. But when you have it, you can be sure that you can escape from situations that would otherwise kill you. You know, for this being my first run after so long, this is not going terribly. It's been rough in the early game, but I have not died. Okay, good stuff. I'm gonna get 8 of these. And after that, I think I might get 8 hexes, so I can use Fulminant Prism. Mystic Blast is a spell that deals damage to monsters that are like in a radius of 2 away from me, and it just pushes them away. By the way, I don't think I found a temple. Have I found the temple? I have not found the temple. Unfortunate. Hopefully I'll stumble upon it soon because, yeah, the earlier that you get the temple and the earlier that you start getting favor with your god, the better things go. Okay, pretty good. Let's just get some intelligence. You get stats increase every, well, you get it on 3, 9, 15, 21, and 27. Mm. We got Dragon Form. While I do think that Dragon Form is a hard carry spell, I also think that it is something that you should probably not go for if you're a Deep Elf, because Deep Elves, I have 4 Strength after all, and Strength has something to do, something very noticeable to do with your melee damage. More Strength means more melee damage, and this character doesn't have any melee strength or any strength for melee damage. Okay. The War Moccasin at very low HP is really bad, or at very low mana, I should say. It's not really very low HP. I'm gonna re-teleport because I don't think I beat this. Okay, pushing it away was important there, so I could actually teleport. I'm gonna have to fight it. Hey, it was not one shot because it was hurt from when I did Mystic Blast, but this time I hit it against the wall. When you hit monsters, when you push monsters into the wall with Mystic Blast, they take extra damage, and so that killed it. That was a pretty good Mystic Blast right there. We got an Altar of Gosak, but I'm not going Gosak. I'm going Vehumet because my goal is to cast Firestorm. You can force builds in crawl, but it is something that you can only do when you can survive playing suboptimally for quite a while. Um, like as someone once said, you can play crawl like strategically awfully. There's people that just win crawl with everything turned on, as mommy as well. But that's just because their tactics are nearly flawless tactics. I don't have that degree of patience, definitely not. So I don't think I would ever do such a thing. Mm, but there's people that certainly do such things. Mm, okay, now is Crawl that bad? Crawl that bad? No, Crawl is a pretty good game. I love Crawl. Crawl is fantastic. Crawl is, in my opinion, the greatest roguelike until Rift Wizard. I think Rift Wizard is better, but Crawl is more replayable because Rift Wizard just gives you everything from the very beginning. If Rift Wizard gave you spells as you went on, then it would be much more addictive and replayable game than it currently is. That's like one of the very few changes gameplay-wise that I would make to Rift Wizard actually. Um, so yeah, let's get this to like 8. Very low skill in fighting we're gonna get unfortunately because we are a deep elf and it's not like we can get a lot of brutal as in you die in a few minutes because you stop playing for a month. Oh, not quite. I feel like learning how to play crawl, once you actually learn how to play crawl pretty well, it's like riding a bicycle. Like you're not gonna forget about it just because you don't do it over a couple of months. You might be caught unaware by some things. That is always a possibility. Okay, the temple is right there. It's being guarded by a million dudes. That's pretty bad. The ossuary is right there. I am going to have to go to the ossuary. Ossuary is a portal bolt. It is timed. So whenever you enter the level, the game announces it to you. It lets you know, hey, there's this thing in this level that you may want to check out. And then you choose whether or not you try to find out what it is. You can use a scroll of magic mapping, which just gives you the layout of the entirety of the level. As you can see, the levels in this game are not as big as the levels in Cogmind. So yeah, the ossuary. Let's go in. You enter an ossuary. This is the one with the bug mummies. Yeah. It's the one with the bug mummies. For every monster in the game, you can inspect it, and the game tells you everything. Yeah, it even gives you like a brief description, gives you an estimate of its HP, it gives you estimates of its armor class, evasion, and willpower. Every plus symbol on armor class and evasion means roughly 5. So it has roughly 5 armor class and roughly 10 evasion. Probably has a bit less armor class and a bit more than that evasion. And it also has around 40 willpower. On willpower, every plus symbol means 40, or roughly 40. So yeah, it hits for 20, and it is very slow. So it's very easy to run away from a mummy. And that's why they don't generate normally outside of ossuaries. Um, Ossuaries are not difficult. Yeah, especially for my character. My character is just really good at pushing monsters away because it has Mystic Blast. So yeah, this Ossuary shouldn't be much of an issue as long as I take my time to rest my mana every fight. Um, because taking fights without mana is a very good way to die as a spellcaster. Okay. Some unfortunately very fast zombies. This water moccasin should die. Yeah, okay. I was hitting it with the Staff of Her. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it was okay. Was not particularly threatened by it, and I also didn't want to. I didn't want to spend my mana on it. Mm. Okay, gonna step over here, push the mummy away. That just one shots the mummy. Mystic Blast is dealing pretty good damage already. I miss Scroll, dude. Um, I feel like I'm gonna start doing that kind of thing a bit more frequently, just like checking out other games and seeing how they compare to Crawl. Mm. To a degree, I kind of did that with Rift Wizard when I first played it, and I felt like it compares extremely well to Crawl. I feel like Rift Wizard does a lot of things that I like in my games quite well. This might be rough. Yeah, this might be a complicated situation. Okay, fortunately, I was able to kill it. Um, Yeah. How about you, people from the internet? Did you play Crawl during the 3 weeks or so that I didn't? If so, how did your characters go? I hope that you had a good time with your crawling, if you did any of that. Um, by the way, I think if you don't know what any of these do, you can press this and then you can select this and it gives you the description. It's pretty nice. You can also like do you can do this and just do this. Yeah, and it gives you that description that I have been showing at the beginning of my spell overview videos. So yeah, the game is just very heavily, clarified, I guess is a way to put it. The game tells you everything that you need to know so that you don't have to resort to outside tools and stuff for you to know what's up. Mm. So since the last time I played the game, like 3 weeks ago, I've been taking a look at the GitHub, and I don't think I found anything that has been like a big impactful change. So yeah, the game is pretty much the same that it was when I last played it a couple of weeks ago. Mm. Only very small bug fixes. We're done with the ossuary. Now I guess I'm gonna have to deal with that null band. Nulls are very dangerous on D1, but D7 nulls are not the worst thing ever. They're bad, but they're not the worst thing ever. They hit hard, but they don't have that much HP, so with a bit of luck, I should be able to beat all of these guys. Okay. Okay, we just got a decent upgrade in the form of this +3 letter armor. Going from +0 to +3 gives me an increase of 3 armor class, which with a bit of luck it might help my survivability a fair amount. Mm. Ooh, that's not good. Got an unfortunate 3% miscast on Mystic Blast, and Mystic Blast prevented me from walking away. Not that I particularly cared about walking away because, attacks of opportunity. But yeah, I cannot kill those guys, I don't have enough mana. Um, I do feel very tempted to try to kill this guy because it's almost destroyed. Mm. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Now I'm gonna make a run for it because I cannot deal with these guys. I need to have more HP. Those boots are very interesting. Or I said more HP, I meant more mana. Um, with a full mana bar, I feel like I may be able to kill the whites, though the whites may kill me before I can kill them. A Vehumet. Yeah, there's many gods in this game, and gods change your playstyle quite drastically. Behumet is a god of the destructive powers of magic. Followers will gain divine assistance in commanding the hermetic arts, and the most favored stand to gain access to some of the fearsome spells in Behumet's library, including Farstorm. And that's the whole reason why I'm going Behumet. One's devotion to Behumet can be proven by the causing of as much carnage and destruction as possible. So yeah, gods in this game are very straightforward. You usually just curry favor with the gods by just playing the game like normal, and you don't have to go too much out of your way to gain piety with your gods, which is pretty nice. So yeah, that's like pretty much flavor text, but like the actual description of what things are is right here. Worshippers of Vehumet will quickly be able to recover their magical energy upon killing beings. As a game favor, they will also gain enhancements to their destructive spells, first assistance in casting such spells, and then increased range for conjurations. Vehumet will offer followers the knowledge of increasingly powerful destructive spells as they gain piety. Vehumet likes it when you kill living things, you destroy the undead, you kill demons, you kill holy beings, and you destroy non-living beings. So pretty much kill everything. Behumet's powers are not affected by invocations, so you don't have to train invocations with Behumet. You can, you get a pretty cool title if you win the game with invocations max as a worshipper of Behumet, but I'm not gonna do that. Behumet does not appreciate abandonment and will call down fearful punishments on disloyal followers. Every god in this game does this pretty much, except for Ru. I think Ru doesn't care, but doesn't give you back your stuff. Those that anger Behumet find destruction amply heaped upon them. Novices are struck by flame and frost, archmages by crystal spears and firestorms. That sounds painful. Their own conjurations, too, are wont to misfire at the worst possible moments. Behumet's wrath lasts for a relatively short duration. Yeah, don't abandon Behumet, but I'm going Behumet. Yeah, Behumet welcomes me, and I welcome Behumet. It's been a long time. Um, so these walls are made out of crystal. These walls actually have a weird property that make them reflect bolts of fire and bolts of cold. This was before exploitable by players, or usable by players, when bolt of fire and bolt of cold were things that existed in the game. Now there's no such thing as a bolt of cold, and the only bolts of fire that exist are the ones that Starbursts produces, and you cannot aim those, so you cannot really multi-sap things, bounce things in those walls anymore, or at least not in a way that would benefit you. Alrighty, +2 boots. Nice. I have a pretty good amount of armor class for this point in the game. I just found everything. I have pretty much a full set of gear, including fully enchanted leather armor, which of course is not endgame worthy, but I mean, I am not in the endgame. The only thing I'm missing is helmet and my rings. Yeah, I have never found a ring with this character. I'm wielding the Staff of Air because the Staff of Air gives me resistance to electricity, and it's also not like I'm meleeing too much, so it's okay to use that. Eventually, I would be interested in replacing it with a Staff of Conjuration. It doesn't give me any resistances, the Staff of Conjuration, but does make me deal a lot more damage, which is a pretty nice thing. Okay, another Jack Band. I should be able to deal with all of them. I'm gonna push them away. Push them away. Yeah, there's 6 of them. I have Mystic Blast, and Mystic Blast hits in an area of effect. So yeah, now there's 4, and they're kind of hurt. So I feel like we're doing quite well here. Ice Beast as well. Okay, one more Mystic Blast. Pretty good. You now have 3 out of 24 mana. I'm gonna get into this corridor, and unfortunately I still do not have the ability of Vehumet to regain mana upon killing things, so I cannot really hope that it will happen, but I'm still gonna try to do it regardless. No, or rather, like, I knew that it was not gonna happen. What I meant is that I was hoping that I was gonna be able to kill those jacks because they were really hurt. Sorry for that. Okay, that went very well. I ended up without any mana, but I did win the fight. Crazy Youth with a +1 cloak. My cloak is +0. Crazy Youth spawned on D7. I think we can probably risk it. Oof. The Chaos brand that Crazy Youth has is pretty bad. It has a 1 in 200 chance to banish you. So I've gotten banished, not from Crazy Youths, but from Sonia's. And yeah, it is pretty rough when that happens to you. I'm glad that it didn't happen this time. Let's go back to the one for that tiny copper amulet. With a bit of luck, it's gonna be regen. Let's go. 100th gold amulet of regen. Regen is my favorite amulet of the game. It just gives you back so much HP. As you can see right now, I have 1 HP regen per turn. That is courtesy of my amulet of regen plus my natural regeneration. So yeah, pretty nice indeed. Let's go to D4. I think D4 was where, yeah, the one, Duvessa, Edmund, and Sigmund. I'm powerful enough to deal with them now, so I can just come back and just kill them. At some point I should train more stealth with this character. Hold on. Okay, bring it on. I can kill you now, so I should be fine. Yeah, every unique thing has a flavor text. Jealous sibling of Sigmund, indeed the youngest of 9 brothers. He has none of Sigmund's skills in magic, but makes up for it with his skills in fighting and a canny head for money. He's eager to prove his superiority by killing hapless adventurers with his expensive flail and quick wit. He doesn't hit that hard, but his flail is indeed good. +2 Dark Flail is nice. Holy Rat doesn't do anything to me because I'm not a demon or undead, so it's just at +2 Dark Flail. But Dark Flail is a pretty good weapon brand. Deals pretty good damage, swings very fast. Quite nice indeed. Okay, we got rid of the Phantom. We just push Edmund away. Mystic Blast. Good stuff. That was not difficult. We got Sigmund. Maybe I shouldn't have taken this fight because I'm not at full mana, but I think I can still kill Sigmund. Sigmund has less HP than Edmund, so should not be difficult. I did get confused, however. Unfortunate. Okay, there we go. 2 casts of Mystic Blast just gets rid of Sigmund. And now I replace my leather armor for the row of willpower. It's a decrease of 3 armor class, but I will take that because the row of willpower will provide me with very necessary willpower. Willpower is what you use to not get hexed by things like Sigmund. So it was a nice upgrade for my character to have that. It is what I always say is that willpower is the most important resistance to have. Sounds like Warhammer Scorn. I don't know about Warhammer Scorn, but yeah, Edmund might be inspired in that. I really have no idea, however. Well, going into D8. Bop. more jacks. We've been getting a very benevolent early game after that rough beginning that we had. Mm, we have some pretty good gear, and we haven't really encountered anything too messed up. The game has crazy out-of-depth monsters, so it is not unheard of to see something along the lines of an unseen horror on D6. It's happened to me, and usually when that thing happens, you kind of just die. It's very difficult to deal with an unseen horror on D6 because by that point it actually deals more damage than you can tank. My first Steam Dragon on D8, that's pretty good as well. That's very late. You usually see these on like D4. By D4 they're really scary, of course, but on D8 they are not that much of an issue. Okay, Mystic Blast, just get rid of them. Grom should die sometime soon. Okay, Vehumet offers me knowledge of Foxfire, and now I can gain magical power from killing. Magical power means mana, so yeah, just get more juice from killing. Grom was a unique, so uniques obviously their name unique they only appear once per game. But there's some uniques that have a late game version where if you don't see the early game version in your run, you get to sometimes fight the late game version, um, which is really crazy strong actually. And Grom is one of those uniques that has a late game version, and the wolves that he has are replaced with Doomhounds, which are significantly more scary than wolves. Um, but yeah, that's very late game. Okay. Also got really lucky that there were not a lot of orc bans in the early game. That was a massive thing. Yeah, orc bans are very likely to kill you. And when I was talking about messed up things, I was talking about two-headed ogres. They hit really, really hard. Yeah, still pressing Kochmine button. Sorry for that. Huge ogre with two heads on top of its bloated body. It is capable of holding a weapon in each giant hand. It has 18 damage plus its +0 giant club, and 24 damage plus its +0 giant spike club, which are the weapons that deal the most damage in the entirety of the game, like the melee weapons that deal the most damage in the entirety of the game. They're so big, however, that most species cannot use them. Only ogres and trolls can wield them from the player characters. And both ogres and trolls might be better off not wielding them because they have better options. So yeah, in my opinion, those weapons are kind of like a noob trap right now. Maybe they should be. There should be a species that kinda is like Old Dogger, because Old Dogger was really good at using giant clubs and giant spike clubs with its +3 aptitude to maces. But now they have -1 to maces, and they're much better spellcasters. So I like the current version of ogres way more than I ever did the old version of ogres, because now I think they're super good, and before I didn't think they were. But I do think that the niche of the character that just runs around hitting things with a giant spike club is pretty much on field. In my opinion, there should be an easy species that can actually make use of them. Troll is better off not using them because it has claws, and claws are really good for killing things. And Ogre, as I mentioned, yeah, Ogre wants to do other things, like be a spellcaster. So yeah, cannot kill the two-headed ogre. In order for me to kill it, I would need to take a fight against it when it doesn't have any support and when I'm at full mana, so I'm just gonna try to avoid fighting it as much as possible. At some point I found a buckler, and I don't think I mentioned it, but wearing a buckler is pretty much free with the way the game is nowadays. After the nerf to shields, after the magic numbers were removed from shields, bucklers were pretty much made free. They still penalize you, but they penalize you so little that it's not really noticeable. Like I put it on and I haven't really trained anything, and I bet if I took it off, I wouldn't really notice the difference. I'm training spellcasting because training spellcasting gives you mana, and mana is something that I want with this character. Okay, since I still don't have rings, I guess I can equip the Ring of Fire and Ring of Ice. They cancel each other out in the terms of resistances, but they still give you the enhancers. So if I ever get a fire spell or a nice spell, it will be enhanced. But most likely I'm going to be replacing those rings soon when I actually find good rings. By the way, I'm looking forward to finding a poison spell that is not meth. So I can make use of Ignite Poison. Poisonous Vapors would be delightful. I already hit 2 pips of piety. I think at 2 pips of piety, Vehumet starts. Um, no, it's at 3 pips of piety, probably. Well, Vehumet offered me Static Discharge, and I took Static Discharge. I should maybe get a bit of Air Magic so I can better cast that with a bit more spell power. Gonna get 4. I'm gonna get that to 9 finally. I don't like the Wand of Ice Blast. I really do not like the Wand of Ice Blast. We are going to just walk away from that guy. Cast a Static Discharge. Static Discharge is a pretty good spell. Doesn't miss, it just deals very little damage to you, but it doesn't miss the monsters, and it also deals way more damage than to the monsters. It deals electricity damage, which I am resistant to thanks to using the Staff of Air. The Staff of Air also increases the spell power that I have on a Static Discharge. So despite the fact that I don't have any air magic, it still has some pretty decent spell power, but it will get much better in the near future. I can also just Mystic Blast, and Mystic Blast I feel like it kills things slightly faster. Haven't found more scrolls of Identify. I did just find a slime creature over there, which I don't want to have anything to do with. Where there's a slime creature, there's many slime creatures. There's like 5 or 6, and they have a unique mechanic that makes them stack up. If you inspect them, the game tells you about the thing that they do. They stack up and they become more robust and more damaging, up to the point where they can hit you for up to 110 damage every attack, which is of course not something that I would recommend tanking. Okay, this is like peak scenario for me to fight this two-headed ogre. Yeah, I was able to kill it. And as you can see, it gives a lot of experience. Well, not really that much, but like our magic gained 2 levels off of killing this guy. Pretty good. After getting that, I think I'm gonna get stealth to 12. Just because I got that manual. If it had not been for the manual, I wouldn't get it. I'm not a big fan of stealth, in case it wasn't obvious by my Kochman playthrough. But yeah, I'm only getting it because Deep Elf has a pretty good aptitude, and I also found a manual. Okay, I'm just gonna skip that level. That level looks dangerous. This is one of those levels that are just full of undead monsters. Not a big fan of these levels. These levels are nightmarish for characters that are using poison magic. Poison magic is otherwise very powerful, but on levels that are full of necrophages and whites and skeletal warriors, it's really rough. And yeah, there they are, the slime creatures. Okay. Some monsters. Oh, howler monkeys can open doors. I guess they're monkeys after all. Monkeys in real life can open doors as well, but I didn't know that they were able to open doors because they're animals. I was expecting them not to. I guess I never got into a situation where I needed a howler monkey to not open a door. Okay. Fortunately enough, I was able to walk away. Deep Elf of Vehumet. Yeah, I felt like that's what I wanted to do for my return to Crawl. Just like this is pretty much my favorite type of character. It is very fragile and very punishing, but it gets so powerful. And most importantly, it is not a melee character. I do not like melee characters in Crawl as it is nowadays. I feel like melee is trash. It is doable, but it's, in my opinion, significantly harder than just winning a mage. Yeah, talking about zombies. Lots of Centaur Warrior zombies. Once I get stun arrow or strike, things get easy for a while. That is correct. Hopefully, Vehumet will offer me one of those spells. I would not complain if that was to be the case. Mm, okay. Oof, +7 falchion. Okay, that's a very girthy weapon. In fact, I am probably gonna carry it. I'm not gonna use it, but I just wanna carry it so the game, so like whenever I win or die, it gets recorded that I took it off a white on level 10 of the dungeon. This thing, oh sorry, this thing just gets carried like crazy of the enchantment because the base weapon type is not good, but the enchantment is good. Now, talking about something that does have a good weapon type, we would be talking about that great sword. One of those whites was carrying a great sword, and that was +3, and it was branded. So, yeah, quite a lot of damage. Vehumet offers you knowledge of Scorch. I am tempted to grab that. Really tempted to grab that. On the other hand, I don't feel like I need it, but it does much more damage than Magic Dart. Magic Dart deals 1 dice of 8, Scorch deals 2 dice of 10 at maximum spell power. It's a level 2 spell, so getting to maximum spell power is not really that difficult. It's gonna be like 6 or 7 far magic for me to get it to 100 spell power or to 100% spell power, especially off my gargantuan 28 intelligence. That's part of the reason why I started a deep elf today. Um, Yeah, deep elves are really, really good at spellcasting, but really, really fragile. Not something that I would recommend to a new player. However, I do have to say that the thing that really got me hooked on Crawl was playing deep elves. Deep elves made it so that I was enthralled by Crawl because I won a Deep Dwarf and I won a Deep Dwarf 15 rune, and those were okay, and they were spellcasters, and they had Shatter. The two of them had Shatter, and they were like fine. And then I won a Spriggan, and the Spriggan was one of the worst characters that I've played. I pretty much got carried by Nemelex in that character. And then I won a deep elf, and then I was like, oh, so Crawl can be like this? Why did no one tell me Crawl could be like this? It was a huge moment in my Crawl journey to win that first deep elf. After that, I won like 4 more deep elves, and of course, it was not easy. It did take me many attempts to win every time I won a deep elf, but I did win like 4 in a row. When it comes to wins, not streaking for deep elves. I was not that good back then. I feel like I could do it now if I really wanted to, but I don't really want to. So yeah, deep elf is just good. Over the course of the versions, it's getting severely nerfed. I have to say that, but it is still playable. They're flame striking bolt 5. Oh yeah, like Ignition or Firestorm, right? That is very, very strong and very, very pleasant. Ignition Bolt 5, it's just free experience. Like you go in, you go Ignition, and then you get out, and you just walk outside with like 20% more experience, more progress towards the next experience level. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna get evocations here because I have wands of paralysis. I have 11 charges. Hello, Kilroy. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you around. What makes you sad today? You were binging my YouTube and you forgot to check if I switch games. You were watching my last game. I just started a bit ago. Let's see, about an hour ago. Been going at it very slowly. Okay. Funnily enough, that +7 falchion that I picked up turned out to be quite useful there. Okay. So yeah, my early game was not the easiest one, but we're doing okay. And I'm playing a Deep Elf of Vehumet. Not a combination that I would recommend to a new player, but it is a combination that got me hooked on Crawl. The combination that got me hooked on Crawl, the one that made me realize that this game was, it had something for me, you know, like, well, not something, a lot for me. Okay, this is going fine. I have enough mana, more than enough mana to just kill all of them. I usually do crawl. Sometimes I play Rift Wizard or other roguelikes. Yeah, I'm just coming off like 3 weeks of not playing crawl. I feel like I needed that break, and not only that break, but also just playing other things and um, expanding my horizon of roguelike knowledge, of like knowing how a game plays and what a game does and like what the game's gimmicks are, is pretty nice. Makes me appreciate crawl a lot more. Mm, yeah. Okay. I haven't gotten Fulminant Prism. I think Fulminant Prism is a very strong spell, but I don't know if I want to get it this time. Okay, Steam Dragon hits me for 19. Pretty bad. I'm gonna put on the Amulet of Fire, or the Ring of Fire, sorry, to give myself more resistance to the Steam. In fact, with 1 pip of fire resistance, you're completely immune to the Steam Dragon. Pretty nice. Okay, now let's take that off, because it's actually dangerous for me to use it. It gives me weakness to cold when I'm using it. Um, hmm. Okay, there we go. That's the entrance to Lair, by the way. Lair is the first branch of the dungeon, and the place that you should go to soon after getting to D11. We got a very deep Lair, D10 Lair. Normally, it is not this deep into the dungeon. I think D10 is like the deepest. No, it can generate from D8 to D11. So D8, D9, D10, D11. And Norg generates a slightly deeper than that. So you're incentivized to not go into Orc um, as a new player. Okay, I got confused by that. It's gonna be kind of rough. Hmm. I could use my 1 potion of curing. Dude, this Swamp Drake is kinda destroying me here. Wow, I just destroyed everyone with my melee. My forced. Oh no, long blades scale with dexterity. I was. Okay, there's an unseen horror here. Yeah, in case you want to know how I know that there's an unseen horror, unseen horrors move like that and act like that. If it had been another unseen or another invisible monster, it would have just hit me repeatedly every turn. But unseen horrors hit you and then walk away and then hit you, and so it is very difficult for you to actually determine where they are. They're quite annoying like that. Wow, I can't believe I got petrified with willpower. I guess some things never change. Petrify, 10% chance to succeed, still petrifies me. But Petrify in this game is not instant death like in other roguelikes. It is only a couple of turns of paralysis, which in in an unfortunate position, it can literally be an instant death from full HP, but it is not unavoidable, and it is not guaranteed. And more importantly, it's something that you can play around, so it is completely fair. Mm. In many situations where you would get insta-killed by getting petrified, there was something that you could have done about it. Mm. Okay, the Cyclops is scary. It can throw rocks that deal a ton of damage, and yeah, it can hit me for like 50 damage on like its best possible roll. So yeah, getting hit for 50 is not something that I'm interested in right now. The giants are slow. Well, that specific giant, the Cyclops, is slow. Other giants are not slow, and yeah, there's some bolts like this one. This one is a couple of shackles. Um, Handcuffs, I guess you could call them that. They kind of look like handcuffs. Um, yeah, Ashensari, which shattered to pieces when Ashensari was cursed. There is still a great power remaining within it. Dark Aura holds the shards in mid-explosion, suspended in time and space, much like the god they herald. It's a pretty good description of the altar. Mm. Okay, so being a deep elf, I am not too interested in most weapons, but if there is a weapon that I can use, it's definitely the bow. I have a massive +3 aptitude for bows, so training for a bow is very easy. For me to do. It's not something that I want to do with this character. It very much overlaps with what I'm already doing, which is just casting very strong conjurations. Conjurations and bows are like, mutually exclusive pretty much. So I don't feel like doing it. I also don't feel like training more fighting. It's very expensive. I would rather train more spellcasting or more conjurations. And yeah, I don't need to get any more of these spells. So far, I haven't seen anything that is too compelling for me to get. The higher level spells that we have gotten, Dragon Form, Dragon Skull, are not really what I want with this character. You can theoretically go for Dragon's Call if you find it. It is a hard carry spell, I guess, but it's not a spell that I like. At the end of the day, it is the highest level of summoning, and what other summonings I have? I literally don't have anything. So if I train towards that, it would take me forever to get to it. It would be a ton of experience wasted, and I would have to fight in a very, underpowered shape while waiting for it. By the way, the amount of two-head ogres that I've seen in this level already make me think that maybe Lodul is here. Lodul is a unique ogre that has a band of two-head ogres and normal ogres, and they are pretty strong. Yeah, you don't want to fight them in a band. And the existence of those guys is another reason why I think that melee is not really good. Um, okay, 11 armor class, pretty nice. Mm, should be able to beat this as it scales. I'll pick them up. I don't have to pick them up, but I'll pick them up just in case, because I don't have any source of resistance to corrosion. Mm, yeah, that's too many two-head ogres. I wouldn't be surprised if I just stumble upon Lodul's band now. Okay, so as you're seeing, I'm just casting Searing Ray. When things get too close, I just cast Mystic Blast, and things go away. Rinse and repeat. Mm. That guy just completely went away because stealth. Stealth makes it difficult for you to manipulate monsters sometimes. Sometimes monsters will do something that you were not anticipating. If you're wondering if the game has any kind of cloak, sorry, it does. As you can see, Sod will find me in pretty much 26,000 turns. If I stay in this branch and explore no new floors, that is the Sod clock, and that prevents you from doing scummy things. Like just walking and then shouting like 100 times and then walking again, shouting 100 times, which would attract monsters towards you while you are not revealing a lot of tiles, so you are a safer. That is fortunately not a thing that you can do in this game. The game incentivizes you to actually press the auto explore button. Like the function is there for your convenience, so you really do want to use it. Let's go to Lair. With my character as it is right now, I think that I am perfectly capable of dealing with everything in Lair. Food was a fine mechanic, in your opinion? Food was annoying. It was a clock that was not really threatening. Um, I do have to say that for the very brief period of time that food that like food as an item was taken out, but there were still chunks in the game and there was still hunger. That period of time, food was, or like the food clock was actually super scary and super dangerous. People did die to the food clock in those times. I don't think I played a single game like that, but yeah, that was pretty rough. Fortunately, no such thing exists anymore. There's no more food clock, and now it's just a matter of not doing very weird, scummy things while you're playing the game. Um, so we just killed that Hydra, and as you see, it was not really difficult. This character, and specifically Mystic Blast, getting Mystic Blast early was a big deal for this character. As I mentioned, pushing monsters away is huge, especially when you have 73 HP and you're fighting things that hit for 34 damage. Let's see what we got here. Potions of Haste. Mm. The early game of a spellcaster will always be slower than the early game of a melee character, but once you get your like really busted spells going, like I would say Sun Arrow qualifies as a really busted spell, but what I really had in mind was something along the lines of Firestorm. You know, when you have that spell that just does the job in 90% of situations, you're just gonna be pressing that and ending fights very fast. Fights that could potentially be significantly more complicated to deal with a melee character. Um, mm, okay, this is going well. Mm, yeah, so far I like how I have been playing this character. I feel like I've made very little mistakes, and we have been surviving quite well. I would like to know if any of you is playing alongside me, like same combo. Torinsky sometimes does that. Torinsky offers the seed. I cannot do that because I'm playing in Tronk and I'm playing in a server. So the server you cannot acquire the seeds, and in Tronk the seed changes every time there's a Tronk update. So pretty much on a daily basis. Um, with Hunger removed, Firestorm's downside is pretty much just needing high skill and enough mana. But it's a lot of skill, dude. It's a level 9 dual school spell. It is one of the most expensive things that you can get in the game. The power of the spell definitely is worth it, but it depends. No, it's not worth it on every character. I would say that it is worth it on a deep elf, but it's not worth it on a character that has like refrigeration or other cheaper things that are also very strong. You're playing along with me, but you're a Draconian Transmuter. Do you like a Draconian Transmuter? Draconian Transmuter is nice. It's not my favorite, I have to say that. Because I don't like melee Draconian and Transmuter is melee. I prefer to play Draconian Ice Mage, for example, Ice Elementalist. That was pretty rough, but the power of Mystic Blast just killed everything, alongside my big amount of spellcasting skill. Talking about that, I should probably train some spellcasting skill now. I'm gonna train it to like 16. Yeah. More spellcasting means more mana, so I definitely do want a bit of extra spellcasting. This is something that I do not recommend doing on most other spellcasters. I'm only doing it on Deep Elf because Deep Elf has so much spellcasting aptitude. Being able to just push monsters away and hit all the monsters that are surrounding me with Mystic Blast is a delightful thing. I like that spell a lot. I got Airstrike from Vehumet. Airstrike is not a spell that I want with this character. It is not that powerful. I think it is one of the weakest spells that you can use for the entirety of the game and actually win the game with it. Wow, now I got Dragon Form Manifold Assault. Dude, should I follow my own advice and just go for Dragon Form Manifold Assault? Oh no, should I follow my own advice? Minotaur Berserker still best beginner build? I guess. I mean, it's fine. It's very simple. It's just like you have the power from the get-go to win most fights, and the more the game progresses, the more powerful you're gonna get. Not only because you're a Minotaur, but also because you're a worshipper of Trog. So like, you are very likely to just get like a plus 12 triple sword or something absolutely insane. Well, maybe not a triple sword, maybe more like an executioner sax, and you can just use that for the rest of the game. Minotaur Berserker is a melee build? Yes, it is. But Minotaur is a very strong species with really, really strong aptitudes. So that's why. Mm, okay, yeah. We have Manifold Assault and Dragon Form, but what I want to learn here is Blink. I'm not gonna get Dragon Form Manifold Assault. On a different character I would do it, but not on a Deep Elf, and much less so on a Deep Elf of Behemoth. I want to do my Firestorm Deep Elf. Her strike saving quality is that it's smite targeted and lots of things fly, but it's been nerfed and needs open areas to be good. Yeah, no, it no longer deals extra damage to things that fly. Now it deals extra damage depending on how many tiles are surrounding the dude, or like how many empty tiles are surrounding the thing that you're targeting with our strike. That's how it works nowadays. Okay, extending the range of my destructive spells. Joe, stop that. Oh boy, that was scary. Spending 2 turns next to a Nidra as a deep elf with 73 maximum HP is really scary. Those things can kill you so fast. They can deal 18 damage per head per turn, like a maximum 18 damage per head per turn, so that can easily accumulate quite a lot. Yeah, it doesn't do it anymore. It when it was changed so that it dealt extra damage, depending on what tiles surround the monster, it was changed so that it didn't deal extra damage to things that fly. When that happened, it also was changed so that the player didn't need a reason to turn off flying, because that was pretty annoying, to be completely honest. Mm. You favor melee in these types of games, so you might do that. Yeah, if you want melee builds, I guess Minotaur, Hill Orc, Merfolk. Eventually, you could try some Troll, Ghoul. Yeah, like just starting with good, melee backgrounds. Of course, with those species. The empty tile bonus came earlier. Catbot qualities for a while. I didn't know. Ghoul is weird. Ghoul is weak. It's not that weird. Now that there's no chunks you don't have to eat to restore your rot, you you just have to kill things and sometimes you heal. But instead of rotting, you no longer regenerate mid-combat, which is a pretty bad property to have in my opinion. Yeah, it's one of the mutations that I like the least, even if it's not that game-ending. Weird how? Yeah, well, I just talked about it. That's how weird, how it is weird. It used to be that it was less weird, or that it was more weird, sorry. And by that I mean that they had like a hunger clock, but they were undead, so the hunger clock didn't kill them, but instead made them rot, and you ate chunks, and when you ate chunks, you restored your rotted off HP. And you healed a lot from the chunks as well, and the chunks that were extremely bad to eat for other species, they're ghouls, very much like them, like the corpses of ghouls, of other ghouls, the corpses of necrophages, of shadow dragons, the ghouls love to eat because like the game actually told you like this smells quite delicious when like other classes straight up couldn't eat those or like took a ton of damage from eating them. Yeah, they were. It was a weird time back in the day when food still existed in the game. The food removal was like the most impactful change in crawl. One of these days I should make a video, like, top 10 most impactful changes in the history of crawl development. Food clock would not even be number one, believe it or not. It wouldn't be number one. I think number one was the removal of the experience pool. Yeah, the removal of the experience pool was a massive change because back then you used to gain experience for your experience pool whenever you killed something, and you had to repeat actions to consume that experience to make the experience go towards that skill, because you're training the skill. So that was how it was before. And also taking draining attacks drained your experience pool. Like it subtracted from it. So it was pretty bad. We got Fireball. I'm gonna get that. Now I have a reason to train Fire Magic. I'm gonna train it to like 14 or so. They have a Bath powered by Death mutation now, right? It's like Wereblood. It's more like Wereblood than like powered by Death. Mm. Hello, Shaper. Thank you for stopping by and good to see you around. Good evening. I am playing Crawl for the first time in like 3 weeks. And this is my first character. I haven't killed it, but we're still in the early game. I'm taking things very slowly, very slowly. I still haven't gotten to the worst part of the game, which is Lair branches. So hopefully by the time I get to Lair branches, I'll have, some of that sweet stuff, Firestorm or Ignition, or at the very least Starburst. I already have Fireball, and Fireball will be good for my build because I'm going for Firestorm. But yeah, that's not quite what I want right now. What I want is Firestorm. Mm. So yeah, Fireball just does a Fireball. Very self-explanatory. Explosions do not check evasion in Crawl, so it's pretty good for dealing with things that have a lot of evasion. Pretty good for dealing with bands. Kind of not the freest thing to aim, but pretty decent nonetheless. And as you can see, mm, it deals 3 dice of 14 right now, and it is castable because I'm with Vehumet and I have 29 intelligence and 15 spellcasting. But the more fire magic that I get, the more power it will get, and it will be better. Mm. Okay. The elephants have a melee attack that pushes you away. It's like a trample attack. Mm. So yeah, we're just waiting for some very interesting spells that Behumet will provide me with. We already got past the point where Behumet would offer me, the not lame, not bad, but the weaker level 1 spells, and we are starting to get some interesting stuff. I have Sticky Flame right there, but Sticky Flame is not what I want. It might become useful because I do have Mystic Blast. Sticky Flame Mystic Blast is not the worst combination ever. Um, you apply the Sticky Flame to the monster, and then you just push the monster away with Mystic Blast. Pretty good stuff. I'm probably gonna lose that volcano. I didn't even notice it. Regardless, I don't have a good way to deal with it, so maybe I should just not go in. Um, mm, Sticky Flame plus Sheep. Yeah, it was pretty funny when that was a thing. Okay, I read a magic mapping to know where the volcano is. I am not that far away from it. Should be able to avoid what I was fighting before. Hmm. There is a lot of variety when it comes to playstyles in this game. Like you can play melee, or you can play a spellcaster, and even within spellcasters, there's a lot of different things that you can do. There's a lot more diversity when it comes to spellcasters compared to melee characters. Melee characters are different from each other depending on the weapon that they use, but and the god that they use, I guess. But they are not as different as magic schools. Magic schools are very different from each other. Um, Okay, it's the one, probably the one with the sun demons. Oh, I am not doing this right. Yeah, put this on. Are you crazy? Put that on. That's fire resistance and weakness to cold, which of course is not something that you want to wear all the time. But in the absence of a ring of fire resistance, I will have to go with that. Um, Now that I have fire resistance, this shouldn't be bad. This really shouldn't be an issue. Even the sun demons will be pushed away by Mystic Blast, so yeah, I don't think I should be afraid. pretty rough fight. I was not really dealing a lot of damage to this once on demon, and I know that there's not only once on demon. This bolt has like 5, so yeah, this is not going well. I have Holy Word. I can use Holy Word against this once on demon, and either it's gonna kill it or it's gonna greatly damage it, and it's also gonna daze it, which is gonna make it lose a couple of turns. So I should be fine. Oh, I also have Ice Blast. Yeah, Ice Blast is the way to go. It's cheaper than the Holy Word. The Sun Demon is weak to cold, and I have enough evocations to skill. I have 8 evocations, so Ice Blast actually deals some okay amount of damage. Let's take a look at how much damage it actually deals. 3 dice of 13. Yeah, pretty good damage. Important to use your consumables in this game. Using consumables appropriately is the key to victory, and that goes for all consumables, not only for scrolls and potions. Wands are also a consumable. Experience evocables to a certain degree could be considered a consumable, though it's much more of a renewable resource than a consumable. As long as you kill things, you will always have access to your experience evocable. Talking about that, the only one that I have is Phantom Mirror, and Phantom Mirror doesn't do anything against Sun Demons because Sun Demons are not good at killing themselves, because they are immune to fire and they hit you they hit for 20 extra fire damage. They do hit for 30 damage, so maybe, but nah. And it's the early game, so it's gonna take forever for it to recharge. I'd rather just use my charges of Ice Blast. There we go. Hold on. Someone just asked for recommended beginner combos. I'm gonna say Ogre, Ice Elementalist. Well, Ogre, Earth Elementalist. Recommended by me. Yeah, people won't recommend spellcasters, but I recommend spellcasters because I consider spellcasters to be significantly easier than melee characters. Of course, if you don't like spellcasters, you can try playing melee characters, but my personal preference is to just play spellcasters. Got hit by the Sun Demon once. It was not the worst thing ever. I think this character would be interested in having an Amulet of Mana regen, considering how much mana I'm using every fight, and I'm not really like losing that much HP, so Mana regen would indeed be quite nice. Fire Dragon, okay. I didn't remember the Fire Dragon. Yeah, I remember that this bolt had like 7 Sun Demons, well, more like 5, but the Fire Dragon is gonna be rough. You'll probably die in the first few minutes, hate melee and try spellcasting. Do remember that the game tells you about things that are extremely dangerous. For example, this Fire Dragon is right now extremely dangerous to me. And if I inspect it, the game will tell me that it looks extremely dangerous. This changes depending on your character and your power level. So like the more the game progresses, the more things are gonna appear easier to your character. You can use that as a rough estimate. That alongside this, this screen in general, like XB screen, is really good for. XB is pretty good for determining what something is powerful and what is not. When something is powerful and when something is not powerful. So it is one of the most important tools that I can recommend to a new player. Maybe I should upload this to my YouTube as tutorial series. I'm probably gonna do that because I'm going extra slow on this Deep Elf. So yeah, I think I can kill it. The thing is that it hits me for 3 dice of 24 fire breath, and I have 78 HP. I also have I have resistance. I have 1 resistance. Do you see invisible? Because maybe I could go invisible. You don't see invisible, and I'm stealthy. And I am stealthy, I have invisible, and I have a port. Okay, I don't have to fight this thing at all. I don't have to fight it. And so I am not going to fight it. Something that you will very rarely ever see me do, because I just generally don't go for this playstyle. I prefer to kill things. But if the game is giving me the option to not kill that extremely dangerous dude and get all the loot, might as well just do that. Okay, I want the gold. Want the gold. The fire dragon woke up. Want that. I want that. It's going straight towards me. I was unable to pull it, I think. Oh no, I did pull it. It's just that the line of sight was broken. Yeah, there we go. I should. Oh, I was about to say that I should train translocations, but I already did train translocations because I have Mystic Blast. Yeah, okay, funny thing. Joink, yeah. A port is such a good spell. Very rarely will it be that impactful at this point in the game, but yeah, pretty good when it is impactful. You can just imagine this same thing, but later in the game. And instead of just grabbing some trash consumables that were definitely not worth the trouble of going over here at all, grabbing some actually good stuff. Yeah, like that bolt needs the bolt needs to be nerfed or the items that it drops need to be buffed because the loot that you get from that is so underpowered. Like compare that to a nice cave's ordinary loot and it pales so much. Okay, we're gonna drop the poison darts. I don't think I'm using that. The enchant weapon, the enchant armor. Those ones I may come back for them later. The amnesia, same for that. The silence, I'm not going to come back for that. That's actually dangerous. The might, am I carrying Cirque? Okay. Let's see. That's all that I'll drop. In Crawl, you have an inventory limit of 52. So yeah, eventually you're gonna have your inventory be full, and that's gonna be annoying. So I want to prevent that from happening just by dropping things that I'm not too interested in. I still have Sticky Flame. I should probably learn that. Yeah, I forgot to learn it. I'm probably not gonna be able to learn it mid-combat. Okay. Go away. Sticky Flame. Now I'm gonna be casting Sticky Flame, Mystic Blast, and things. The old strategy was to cast the Sticky Flame and then just run away, but now that the attacks of opportunity exist, that thing is no longer possible. You can try to run away, but it's gonna deal quite a lot of damage to you, and more likely you're gonna die before you actually kill the monster, where before it was almost guaranteed that you were gonna be able to kill the monster. How have times changed? I think in my Fire Magic video that I did the other day, I mentioned that I was of the opinion that maybe Sticky Flame should be either removed or reworked into something else. Maybe it's time that it regains its range so that you can actually, put it to use in this age of attacks of opportunity. Okay, pretty good. I don't like the Boulder Beetle. It's gonna roll at me. And Boulder Beetles deal a crazy high amount of damage when they start rolling. They deal double damage. They deal 64 damage maximum. So yeah. Tremendous speed as well as double melee damage. So not only you cannot run away from it, but it also can just one-shot me pretty much. And even if it doesn't one-shot me, it could put me in a position where I can be two-shot. So yeah, that's definitely not something that we want to be in the receiving end of. I'm gonna go for paralysis. I'm at the range of HP where if it hits me for a maximum damage roll and I roll very poorly with my armor class, I literally just die because it can bite for up to 32 and I have 32. Dude, I hate boulder beetles. So yeah, I just went for the heal wounds there. Safer to go for the heal wounds than to die. Still don't have enough mana, however. I did get a potion of magic, but I'm not gonna use it on this. I'd rather save it for when I actually need it. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. Now I can just poke this. Some pretty low damage because at the end of the day, in order to staff, you need some skill in the weapon alongside skill in stealth. And yeah, I'm not doing skill in stealth. If you're playing Tiles, the monster's name will be red, yellow, or great. In console, it's also like that. So if you play console, it will also be like that. Yep. It's covered up because I have my console window up for people who watch console instead of watching Tiles. I personally do not play Tiles, nor do I understand them very well, even though I did win a game in Tiles a couple of months ago. But yeah, I'm definitely not too compelled to repeat that experience because it was not the greatest, you know? It took me 9 hours to win the character. Unfortunately, I won in my first attempt, so I have the very prestigious honor to say that I am probably one of the very few people who have a 100% win rate on Tiles. Um, I don't have a 100% win rate, of course, but I do have a 100% win rate on Tiles. Mm, that was pretty rough. I cast double Mystic Blast and I wasn't able to push the Dire Elephant away. It is almost death. Tiles better than Naski? I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that personally. Okay, please die. I need you to die. Alright. I'm glad that I was able to kill the Dire Elephant without it killing me in the process. They are way too tanky, so I am compelled to not do that. Yeah, I'm compelled to just go elsewhere. I can choose not to do that. You are incentivized to clear floors and kill everything pretty much, but you also don't have to do it. If you see a floor that is too much, you can just go down or just come back later. In this case, since it's the final level of the Lair 6, I am just gonna go to D12 instead. Delightful. Oh, I got shafted. That's right. I always forget that I get shafted. Every time it happens in Lair and every time I forget about it. Fortunately, this should be very easy for me to um, survive. Yeah, those guys are not fast, so it's only a matter of Mystic blasting them a bit. Um, really, really looking forward to the time where I find poisonous vapors or toxic radiance or noxious Vogue because I would be using those. I would use those for sure. Rupert is Rupert is oof, you have some pretty good gear today. Human whose savage roars bring terror to all those who hear them. I don't need to hear the roar of Rupert to be terrified of Rupert. Um, Rupert deals a lot of damage. Not only does Rupert deal a lot of damage with his incredible weapon, he pretty much always generates with an incredible weapon. He also has 20% chance to paralyze me past my willpower. Um, and he also has a 20% chance to confuse me. So yeah, he's ridiculously strong. He's like a monster that teaches you that even a bit later in the game than the very early game, you can still find things that you should run away from. And that kind of stays true for the entirety of the game. So yeah, I do not like fighting Rupert, and by extension, I'm going to re-teleport. Hope that I don't get paralyzed immediately. Mm, yep, you easily resist could have been a paralysis there. I don't think it. Oh, it maybe would have killed me. If I had landed here while paralyzed, I would have died. Fortunately, I was not paralyzed, so I can avoid death. I'm not liking this. I'm gonna read another teleport. It is important to be able to look at a situation, as I mentioned earlier, to look at a situation and say, hey, that looks crazy. I'm not gonna be able to live through that, and start playing around that as soon as you notice. Yeah, very important. If you know that you're not gonna win, why would you risk your resources, your character, all the time that you've spent playing the character, trying to win a fight that you don't know that you're gonna win, or you know, have doubts about? That's an important thing to think about. I feel like that kind of thing only comes with experience, but it is a good mindset to have um, when you're playing this game. Oof, got very poisoned by that. But fortunately, the game does tell you how much HP you're gonna lose from the poison, and I knew that I was not gonna die to it, so not much to be worried about. Okay, there we go. Glowing cloak, that might be a cloak of poison resistance with a bit of luck, or a cloak of willpower would also be nice. Let's see what we get. It's another +2 cloak. I already have one, so it's like not finding anything. That's unfortunate. Mm, okay, I'll come back to the rest of Lair at some point in the near future. For now, let's go to D12 as I mentioned. Um, oh, there's a deep of Paramancer here. Yeah, past D11, the dungeon starts throwing some crazier things at you. The Deep Elf Paramancer is not quite that, but yeah, you'll see. Death Knights and bands of slime creatures are also pretty bad. Um, Skeletal warriors. There's many things that are really awful in the mid game dungeon. Mm, mm. I wish I had a better spell than what I have right now, like a stone arrow and irradiate kind of spell, but I still have not found such a thing. I was expecting to take much more damage there because not only did I have a red ugly thing next to me, I was also barbed, um, and you know, no resistances. So yeah. All right. Apparently, there's a new scroll that was just added today. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Um, I think it just creates clouds of meth everywhere. Mm, and is that the same Paramancer? I think it was. But anyway, I think that at this point in the game, we're gonna be starting to use Fireball a lot more in the absence of, you know, Stone Arrow. Fireball might be nice. It now deals 3 dice of 16. Its power hasn't really increased a lot, but it will get much better once I get to experience level 15 and I increase my intelligence a bit more. For the rest of the game, we're gonna increase only intelligence pretty much. I don't have any incentive to increase anything that is not intelligence. And the damage of this is not the worst, but it does require a fair amount of spell power. I think the spell power of Fireball is like uncapped. Like when it says 100% spell power, that's 200 spell power, and 200 spell power is quite a lot. It is so much that on most winning runs, you're not gonna get to 100% spell power of one of the spells with 200 spell power, you know? Mm. Okay, I don't want to run into those centaurs like that. Yeah, it would be like walking into a firing squad. So yeah, not going in that direction. I'm gonna exclude those guys. In fact, let's just go to Orc instead of exploring that. Orc has some shops. So all this money that I have, it's time to spend it. It also replaces every item that would generate on the floor with a bit of gold. So you get to actually use money on those shops, which is pretty nice. You get some money that you can use in those shops, is what I meant. Bloodstained hat. I am going to buy that. The hat of the reasonable goth. It's not terrible. It's bad, but it's not terrible. I'll use it for now. I would prefer not to use it, of course, because it has one of the worst properties in the game, which is slow, which has like a 1% chance to slow me whenever I take damage. But yeah, that's really bad. But the cold resistance, the poison resistance, the stealth is okay. It is +2, so it is also kind of nice, you know. I shall take it. At the end of the day, I should avoid taking damage with this character. That's just how it is. If I'm taking damage, I'm already not doing it right. Slow or no slow. If this is your first time looking at Crawl, this character is very much unlike an average Crawl character because it has much less HP than other kinds of characters, like, for example, a Minotaur or a Hill Orc or even a human or an Ogre. Deep Elves have 20% less HP than humans. And humans themselves have 30% less HP than ogres, pretty much. So they have very low amounts of HP compared to the things that I would normally play. But they compensate for that by being ridiculously powerful once they get going. And we kinda got going already. I feel like the chances for me to die decreased heavily the moment that I got Mystic Blast to 1%. Yeah, Mystic Blast has saved me so much. Okay, let's see what we got here. I am indeed some kind of glass cannon, especially glassy and not so cannony right now, but I am very fragile indeed. I'll get to the cannon part a bit later. For now, I would say that I'm probably more like a glass musket more than a glass cannon. Okay, do I have another set of downstairs? I do not. Unfortunately, have to go down these stairs. There is a warlord over there. That's a bit of a shame. I can't kill it. I don't think I found Curare. Oh no, I can kill it because I have Phantom Mirror. Okay, so I just Phantom Mirror the Warlord. Phantom Mirror is an experience evocable that summons a copy of a monster that doesn't last for very long, but it is still a copy of a monster, so you can use it to greatly damage the monster. If you get lucky, the monster that you summon will actually be able to kill the monster that is copied, which is very nice. Yeah, that kind of thing happens more often with something like the Lernayan Hydra or a normal Hydra, I guess. If you get lucky and you copy a spellcaster with a very strong conjuration, like a Crystal Spear or an Iron Shot, maybe it can cast it against the original and just one-shot it. I needed that. Needed a bit of water. It's been a while since I've talked so much in a stream. Um, when it comes to Crawl, I just have a lot of things to talk about, and I didn't really feel like it was the case in the other games that I played in this break from Crawl. Yeah, the Orc Warlord is pretty much unhurt, so that's extremely rough. My Orc Warlord already lasted for quite a while. I'm a bit surprised that it's been around for so long, considering that I don't really have that much skill in evocations. Maybe it was buffed a bit while I was gone. Okay, I'm just gonna go upstairs. I feel like it's the safe thing to do to go upstairs here. Unfortunately, I am at very low amounts of mana, so this might be a complicated fight. Vehumet does give me some mana back whenever I kill things, um, which is nice. But I need to kill things for the mana refill, and I'm not doing that very well right now. Okay, I'm gonna shout. I need monsters to come to me so I can just kill them all at the same time. What I'm going to do is use my lightning rod and just shoot it. The more you channel it, the more damage it deals. And you can also spread the blast after the first use, but if you spread it, the damage decreases. Okay, this might be rough. This warlord is definitely quite difficult to kill. It has good armor class and a bunch of HP. Doesn't have fire resistance, but it hits really hard. Not only that, but it also makes everyone hit really hard. Fortunately, this particular orc warlord didn't generate with a launcher. If it had generated with a launcher, we would be in some serious trouble. So I just got fireball, sticky flame, and flame wave in that order. I'm of course not getting flame wave. Flame wave is not a good spell. It needs a buff, but yeah. Oh, whoa! I took a lot of damage there. I didn't think that I was gonna get hit by the halberd because I didn't notice that that one of the orc warriors had a halberd. I still do not have scrolls of blinking, so this is definitely a pretty bad spot. I have fear. I can fear. I didn't die. We take those. Just gonna go upstairs now. But yeah, this is a very complicated situation. Kind of stuck here.
My wife still doesn't believe in me.
Woot DCSS.
Will Tarquine, thank you for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Yeah, Crawl. It's been a while since I've played Crawl, so here we are playing some Crawl. It's definitely fun. I've been going at it very, very slowly, just trying to not make any mistakes. I feel like the first serious mistake that I made in the entirety of the run was actually that, just letting the orc with a halberd hit me. Um, that could have killed me. I think it was unlikely to kill me, but it could have killed me regardless. So I'm very glad that it didn't kill me. You tried to lurk for the other games, but that Kochmind one was really hard for you to see what was going on. Dude, Kochmind. Shodem in my Discord mentioned that the one of the greatest issues that people have with Kochmind is that it's too zoomed out for them. I personally didn't feel like I had that issue when I was playing Kochmind. Um, I had other issues with the game for sure, but that one was not one of them. Oh boy, this Orc Warlord is definitely gonna be a pain. Normally, I would have a better way to deal with it. Like, I would have like Stone Arrow. Stone Arrow would just make this so easy. But in the absence of Stone Arrow, I guess we're gonna have to cast Fireballs. You felt that as well, but the main problem was the text size. Yeah, okay. We take the hit, and then we Mystic Blast, and then we just run away. Aha! We killed the Orc Warlord. Let's go. Let's go. Thinking about what I want to train now. Alright, I'll train a bit of stealth. Just because I have that manual. Really looking forward to having Stone Arrow on this character. It's gonna be a pretty good quiver spell. Stone Arrow is just like an upgrade over Magic Dart. It deals way more damage than Magic Dart. Magic Dart deals 1 dice of 8. Stun Arrow deals 3 dice of 13 at maximum power. So the damage increase is gargantuan. And with the damage increase also comes an increase in capability of actually, hurting things that have armor, such as this Orc Warrior. I had to maneuver so that it was next to this pillar right here, and I just cast Mystic Blast at it so that it took the extra damage from colliding with a wall. Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Silver Boomerang hits you. You feel yourself slow down. So, you remember that I said that the slow Randart was bad? That's why it's bad. Yeah. It gets much worse the moment we start seeing things that can hit me from afar consistently, which we haven't really seen yet. Still slow. Don't want to have anything to do with a troll while slow. Yeah, now I can deal with the troll. When it comes to Crawl, it's funny that you mentioned that it was hard to read the text because when it comes to Crawl, I have my Crawl window super zoomed in. Like the resolution is actually very low in the capture window for tiles, so that everything appears larger, and so the people who are watching the stream can actually read the screen. What the text says. That's something that I think is very important for my stream, like for people to actually be able to see what's going on in the stream. Um, I didn't really consider that when it came to Kochmind, but that's because of my lack of expertise with Kochmind, of course. I didn't even notice it as an issue. Just gonna wait here. There we go. That's actually pretty nice. We bring upstairs the sorcerer. The sorcerer has a 9% chance to paralyze me. I have 1 source of willpower. So hopefully it should be enough to not die to the sorcerer. And it was. Alright, there we go. Good stuff. Can you stop throwing boomerangs of dispersal at me, please? Okay. Normally, Fireball would have 1 less range, but Vehumet makes it so that I can hit every monster or every tile on the screen with the explosion from the Fireball. It's pretty nice. Fireball is somewhat expensive. It costs 5 mana. I can cast 7 with a full mana bar, but it also produces massive amounts of noise, so it might not be the greatest thing to spam, and that's why I still don't have it in the quiver. Compared to Fireball, Stone Arrow only costs 3 mana, so it is much more economical for me to use it mana-wise. I would most likely not run out of mana after casting a couple of stone arrows. Like after 11, 12 stone arrows, things should be dead. If things are not dead after 12 stone arrows, it means that I shouldn't have taken that fight in the first place. So that's why I really am looking forward to stone arrow as a quiver spell. Stealth not trained much, I assume. I have 12 stealth. Funny thing that you mentioned that because I was training stealth. I said to stop at 12 because I got a manual very early in the game. So yeah, I for once decided to actually train a bit of it, but I wouldn't have done it if I had not found a manual. Mm. Alrighty, let's go ahead and train a bit of dodging because why not? Um, by a bit I mean like 12 dodging. Yeah, stun arrow or like sorry, not stun arrow. Magic Dart is okay for dealing with things like these orcs, but even then it still takes me 3 casts of Magic Dart to kill them. That's not good. If you're wondering why there's so many monsters walking towards me, it's because I've been using Fireball. So the monsters hear the explosion because Fireball produces massive amounts of noise, and they're like, what is going on over there? Let's go investigate. So monsters from much farther away in the level are coming to see what's up, and that can produce some very, very long fights. Um, that is not really an issue that emerges from not having stealth. It is an issue that comes from producing very large amounts of noise. Um, so even if you don't have any stealth, you are not gonna have this issue. Um, you will have this issue if you are casting things like Fireball and like Chain Lightning and Lightning Bolt and Shatter and Firestorm, just things like that that are incredibly noisy. Those are the things that will cause this kind of situation. Okay. Still haven't found any shops. Looking forward to at least seeing one bookshop. I feel like sometimes I just get 7 bookshops in a character that has like 3 intelligence. But of course, when I'm playing the spellcaster, I have not found a single bookshop. Okay, we don't care about that. We may care about the Randards. The Randards could potentially be sky weapons. A sky weapon is a weapon that the player going by the name Sky would wield, and Sky was notorious for wielding anything that would give resistances or extra protection in some way in the weapon slot instead of actually using a weapon. So pretty much turning the weapon slot into a third ring if you don't have any plans to actually attack with a weapon, which this character most definitely doesn't. Okay, an Orc Knight. You don't have a polearm, however, so I can just do this and then push you away and then get away. And now you're super dead. I don't even have to run away. The Ring of the Coward. Unfortunately, it sets me to 0 strength, so I cannot use that. But it is a really, really strong ring to use when I have a bit of extra strength. Obviously, the Ring of the Tortoise would also be nice, but it is very expensive. So from those 2 shops alone, that's already a pretty interesting haul. Um, I would like to not have to buy that Ring of Fire Resistance, but if I have no other choice, I would buy it. But I really want the Ring of the Coward. It's just that I cannot use it with 0 or with only 4 strength. In this game, going to 0 of a stat doesn't kill you instantly, but it does make it so that you're probably gonna die very soon because it makes you slow for the entirety of the time that you have 0 stat, alongside some other nasty downsides depending on the stat. So yeah, in general, just don't be at 0 stat. You can be at 0 stat and you can survive, but it's gonna be difficult and it's probably gonna be expensive for you to survive. Okay, I didn't see if the Warlord had some form of fire resistance. It has cold resistance, so we should be fine. Hopefully, please, no? Okay, no. All right then. I'm just gonna have to walk away. Don't mind me. I don't wanna have it be within melee range. If it is within melee range, it kills me in like 2 attacks. Um, so I definitely don't want that. Okay, there we go. Fortunately, lightning rod was enough to kill the orc warlord. Pretty good. I feel like experience evocables are a good thing to have when you're a spellcaster because they're similar to magic. They're not the same as magic, but they're similar to magic in the sense that they give you a good exotic effect that you can use from afar, but it doesn't cost any mana. So like it's a good thing to do as a panic button when you run out of mana without or like instead of having to teleport or use a potion of mana or something to be in fighting shape. um, I found some glowing boots. I think they are they're probably gonna be the same or worse than the boots that I already have, which are +2 boots. So I don't feel too compelled to spend money on them, especially not considering that I know that one of these shops has the Ring of the Tortoise and another good ring that I would love to buy. So yeah, I'm just not gonna buy them. My wish list looks like this right now. So in the future, I'm gonna buy the Ring of the Coward once I fix my strength problem. And maybe I'll buy the Ring of the Tortoise. Probably I'll buy it, but it's gonna be difficult for me to use. It's gonna be much easier for me to use the Ring of the Coward. Erolcham has a 5% chance to banish me. 5% means that you should not fight her. Yeah, 5% means that it can happen. And if it can happen, it will happen eventually, and you're gonna die. So yeah, I'm just gonna set an exclusion. Josephine is much easier to deal with by comparison. The scariest part about Josephine is her band of raids. So I can kill her, but I don't want to fight her on a newly entered level, like a level that I just entered. I want to fight some things and kill some things, and when the level is less populated, at that point I would be more comfortable fighting Josephine, because I would have you know, the knowledge that I'm probably not gonna get ganked by something in the middle of a fight in case I get slowed by the raids, because raids slow you with their melee attack, in case you were not aware of that, um, which is a pretty bad thing. Okay, so many armor shops, so many weapon shops, no bookshops for this poor deep elf. But I did get a buckler of reflection, which is a marginal upgrade over what I had. I was expecting a resistance buckler instead, or a protection buckler would have also been nice, but I guess I shall take that. And I'm gonna continue training my dodging skill. This is Josephine's band. No, it's definitely not Josephine's band. Also, if I shot a fireball there, it would wake up at Ultra, and I do not want that to happen, so I'm not gonna do it. Center Warrior. Oh, I remember this guy. Yeah, firing squad. Okay, I'm gonna walk to this Cyclops. Ooh, I'm gonna walk away from this Cyclops. Okay, this D13 is actually kind of rough. My issue with this D13 is that my main way of fighting things is making incredible amounts of noise with Fireball. That is most definitely not a thing that I want to do in this level. I feel like if I do it, I am dying. I'm like signing off on the character, so I'm not gonna do it. And also, the level layout is pretty bad. I have to walk in long corridors towards sleeping monsters to be able to hit them if I don't want to fireball them. So yeah, at this point I am not starved, but I would appreciate having a new spell. Maybe, like, I'm starting to consider getting Freezing Cloud. In fact, I should probably just learn it. The thing about Freezing Cloud is that it really, really, really doesn't synergize with Fireball. The Fireball removes the Freezing Cloud, so that's the main reason why I haven't gotten it. Okay, pretty good. A troll. Okay. Oh, Erolcha woke up. Okay, we're gonna have to fight Erolcha, unfortunately. Okay, I'm gonna fireball her. There we go. Goodbye, Erolcha. We got Troll Letter, but I also have willpower. My only source of willpower comes from my robe, so I unfortunately cannot use the Troll Letter. Let's go down to D14, and we're starting to approach the mid game. Mid game is gonna be pretty rough on this character. I'm not looking forward to it, because we still have not found like something really, really crazy. Yeah, we're still missing Firestorm. It should come soon. I think by bolts we should probably have it. Maybe with a bit of help of a Ring of Wizardry. A human. Humans are rare spawns. They usually only appear in bolts. And yeah, this thing that's happening right now is what I mentioned regarding noise. Just monsters that were not even here in the first place are just running towards me and trying to kill me for no good reason. Let's get out of here. Okay, this is definitely the bolts entrance. In order to enter bolts, you need to have a rune. So it's not something that I should worry about right now. These guys are very beefy. They have a decent armor class, they have decent weapons, they have decent damage, and they come in bands of a couple in the bolts, so you have to be able to deal with them if you want to go to bolts. Which of course we're not gonna do right now. We're not at that point in the game. And not only that, but even if I wanted to go into bolts, I wouldn't be allowed to. I miss the times when you could go to bolts before having a rune. The objective of crawl is to get 3 runes at the very least, and that allows you to go into the final zone of the game where you can find the thing that you need to get and then escape from the dungeon. So yeah, that's kind of the whole point of the game. Pretty rough. Ran out of mana. I'm gonna use Ice Blast. That kills perfect. Yeah, at the end of the day, Pyromancers don't have that much HP, so it's fine. You know what would be a nice thing to find with this character? The Hat of the Alchemist. I know that I'm asking for a lot, but I would like to find the Hat of the Alchemist, so I could go do Elf before doing a Lair branch. Elf is a very dangerous place where, well, I am an elf and you see what I'm doing. Now imagine a bunch of enemies that are elves and are doing what I'm doing, and that's pretty much the Elf branch in a nutshell. Even these Pyromancers hit very hard. Elf is not that bad on a character that is properly, built for Elf. Which this character, I wouldn't say that it is that, but it is probably gonna have an easier time doing Elf compared to other places. Mm. Okay. Yeah, kind of rough. Spellforce Servitor. That's not that good, actually. Spellforce Servitor is a very exotic summon that copies your highest level spell that is a conjuration that is not Farstorm. Yeah, the strongest and most volatile of magics cannot be imbued in this fashion. But it does copy your Crystal Spear, copies your Iron Shot, it copies your Ball Lightning. So, yeah, your Servitor casts Fireball. If I was to learn it, it would be casting Fireball, and it's not that great. Fireball being copied is like whatever. I would prefer to copy Iron Shot if I had it. I don't have it, but yeah. People have expressed positive feelings about that spell. I don't really use that spell because at the end of the day it is a summon, and usually the thing is that it's a conjuration summon, and if I have enough skill to cast level 7 conjurations, I feel like I don't need a summon because I have level 7 conjurations, So I don't think I've ever gotten it. It also is pretty good with Crystal Spear, which is another spell that I never get. This is a Ghost Bolt. It's a feature of the game. This is supposedly a person, null Conjurer of Vehumet, and it has those spells. Get Hat of the Alchemist is my favorite build. Yeah, mine too. It's pretty good when you manage to get the build, get Hat of the Alchemist. Alright, we should be fine here. I wanted to channel Seeing Ray, but it was probably an unwise thing to do. Now, I have two options here. I can get I can get Strength. That allows me to wear the Ring of the Coward, which is pretty good. And also keep in mind that I still do not have any rings. So I'm really, really, really interested in wearing a ring. Or I can get intelligence, and intelligence just makes my spells more powerful. Because of that, I'm gonna get strength and hope that I do not regret that decision, but I'm probably not going to. Um, okay. Pretty strong character, pretty strong fireballs. 3 dice of 16 is definitely doing the job right now. Um, okay, Kirky. Let's see what's your chance to pick for me. 15%. I think we should be fine. Just gonna wait around the corner here. Let's see if she comes my way. She didn't come my way. And so I proceed to auto travel and I immediately get pig formed. When you're a pig, you cannot fight, but you move faster. You can read potions. You can read scrolls and drink potions, but you cannot cast the spells. You cannot fire. You cannot throw things. You cannot attack. Oh, you can bite. You can bite with your teeth, which don't deal very good damage. I guess it can be okay if you have an armed combat, but yeah, in general, it's like paralysis, except that you can move. You're very compelled to not fight her if she turns you into a pig. It is something that you can prevent by having willpower. Having 2 sources of willpower prevents most hexes in the entirety of the game. It's very rare that you're gonna need more than 2 sources of willpower. It's just that this character has not found a second one, and even the first one that I have is not really an ideal source of willpower. I would prefer to have something else be my source of willpower and not what I currently have. Um, that was my bad. I didn't want to do that. I'm gonna drink a heal wounds. My HP dropped a bit low. No. Sticky flame. Gonna cast. Gonna go for the paralysis. Yeah, paralysis might be good. There we go. +7 falchion. Let's poke it. We're not really killing it. Let's just speed up the process with sticky flame. Your dodging skill increased to 12. Okay, let's get like 4 shields or whatever. My evasion is 17. It's gonna get better when I get the Ring of the Coward, which I probably should go for right now. This guy is sticky flamed, so I don't wanna do anything. I don't wanna spend any more mana dealing with that guy. Okay, those are Kirky's picks, so Kirky should be close. Regardless, let's go get the Ring of the Coward. The Ring of the Coward. Ring of the Coward. Okay, there's also a Ring of Strength, but it is incredibly expensive, and so I shouldn't get it. Let's put on the Ring of the Coward. Okay, my resistances are looking very respectable now. I just wish I had some willpower, apart from the robe. If I didn't have the robe, I would be able to wear, or like if I didn't have my only source of willpower be on the robe, I would be able to wear troll leather armor or acid scales. Maybe not acid scales with 2 strength, but maybe troll leather armor. Regardless, I'm not gonna use the Ring of Fire Resistance now that I have double fire resistance. I could get the Ring of Dexterity or the Ring of Protection. Maybe I'm gonna get the Ring of Protection at some point in the future. But for now, this is looking good. It's just that my 2 strength now it's actually like a really bad thing if I press staff because it's a wasted turn. It's not like it's gonna get me killed. Like you cannot fail an attack and get killed as a result of failing an attack, but you can waste a turn and get killed as a result of wasting a turn. So yeah, inscribing this with don't attack is gonna make me not attack. Mm. Okay. Something that I'm noticing a lot is that I am pressing S to wait, which I did that a lot while I was playing Kochmine. So whenever I'm doing it in this stream, I'm feeling the feeling of like I'm doing something that I don't want to do. I'm doing something that's wrong. But that's just because I played Kochmine for a while. Oh boy, I'm not a big fan of that. Scrolls of Blinking. Finally, we found Scrolls of Blinking. All of Lair. Oh, not all of Lair. I have yet to do the 15. I'll go back and do that soon. By the way, white ugly things are the scariest ones out of all of them. Ugly things change color, so they will they can turn into white ugly things, and then they can turn into other colors. Depending on their color, they have that kind of elemental damage and resistance. The white ones deal the most damage because ice damage melee is like the most damaging out of all of them. It's really nasty. Mm. Okay, the wolf spider was sticky flame, but the sticky flame wore off pretty much immediately. With a bit of luck, we're gonna be able to reach that. Oh, I don't have digging. I'm gonna have to go around. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to avoid with digging. Exactly. Well, we're kind of gonna have to fight here. I hope that I don't get killed as a result of it. Yeah, the issue with the centaurs is that they're centaurs, right? They have bows, so you cannot really push them away. It doesn't work against them because they just like shoot you. You get some keybind for Explore mixed up with COQs. 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 Don't know what COQs. Oh, Caves of God. Pretty much only that. Don't know why. Yeah, don't worry about it. It just took me a bit to figure out what it was. Tango Warrior might be scary, but the Center Warrior is also scary. This is looking not very nice. Gonna go for Lightning Rod here. As I mentioned earlier, it recharges with the experience gain, so yeah, pretty nice. Caves of God is fun. I don't know about that. From what I've heard about Caves of God, it very much sounds like a game that's not for me. I haven't even looked at it or given it a try. I don't even own it, nor I have it on my wish list. But I also don't have much interest in it. Maybe the next time I wanna step away from Crawl for a couple of weeks, that would be one to try because a lot of people talk about it. I mean, sure, as I mentioned, what they say doesn't really make me interested in the game, but I should check it out um, one of these days. Why wouldn't I like it? Because I enjoy games like these, like combat oriented, and from what I've heard, Caves of God is not really like that. Also, I've also heard that Caves of God is very like a wiki game, and I also have grown to very much dislike wiki games. I like it when the game is designed in such a way that I can play the game without having to alt tab and check a spoiler list every minute or so. It's wacky, which is very unlike DCSS. What about killer clowns? Killer clowns are wacky. I've heard people that don't like killer clowns because they're wacky, which I personally find very funny. I find very funny that those people don't like killer clowns because they're wacky. It is obviously meant to exemplify the absurdity and insanity of the realm of Sot, and that's why killer clowns exist. It is full of Sot is full of absurd monsters like floating toe, dreadful undeath, cove of maze, tentacled monstrosities, orbs of fire. Like even the draconians and North guardians are kind of ridiculous like that. Like that's just the identity of Sot. Um, so yeah. I don't know what to train now. I really don't know what to train now. I guess I'll train fighting. Oh yeah. Get to the thing. All those guys, I'm pretty sure were guarding this entrance to the depths. Or maybe the ugly things were the ones that were guarding the entrance to the depths. You can go to the depths, but you shouldn't go to the depths. If you go there, you're probably gonna get killed. Like going from D15 to depths 1 is one of the most difficult things that you can do in the game. If you go straight from D15 to depths 1. I know because I did it a fair amount during the tournament. There is a goal, an achievement, Lord of Darkness 3, which is get 6 runes before, or get 6 runes without entering Lair, Orc, or Bolts, and win the game like that. So you pretty much only get access to the dungeon, the depths, Pandemonium, or Hell. I guess you can get Pandemonium, Hell. And the Abyss, and the Abyss doesn't even give experience anymore, so there's that. It's very difficult to do that challenge. So yeah, you just postpone doing depths as much as possible. You don't have to wiki cut, but you don't think the combat will challenge you the same way this game does. Understandable. Okay, we got into the gauntlet. The gauntlets generally have some pretty good stuff. So let's see what we got here. Randart Amulet, Randart Hat, Randart Boots, Randart Plate, but I cannot use that, nor I will be able to use it ever. And another pair of Randart Boots. Let's see what route can give me the most interesting stuff. I think I'm most interested in the Amulet and the Hat, maybe. Okay. I think I have to make a decision. Like, I think I'll... Oh, there's one that has two. Okay, unfortunately I cannot use the plate. Great Wizards Volume 2. I like that. That has Zombie Hands and Noxious Bog. Noxious Bog is a spell that I want, but I'm not so sure that I'll get it after all. It is very strong, and it is not that expensive. It's not that prohibitively expensive to get, but it is not a spell that I am particularly compelled to get. Oh, the Handbook of Molding. What is that? Oh boy, it has Irradiate. I have to get that book. Unfortunately, I have to get that book. Hopefully the book will be in the same room. Dude, it has 2 Amulets of Regeneration. Oh no, it's not that one. Okay. Where's the Handbook of Molding? Embroidered Cloak. 2 Poison Darts. So it's either Irradiate or a Randart. That's so evil. This is not even a Randart, it's just a normal ring. I think I'm gonna go for one of those boot bolts. Okay. Oh, from the very beginning I get some boots. Okay, so that actually changes everything. If these boots are incredible, I don't have to go for the other ones. Ooh, there's a wizard right there. That might be rough. 8% chance to banish me. Please don't do it. I would appreciate it if you didn't banish me. That would be indeed quite nice. Okay, as long as there's only one wizard, I think I can kill it fast enough. I do have willpower, but one source of willpower is not always enough. And wow, look at these boots. They are so ridiculous. The only good thing about them is the 8 intelligence, and the 8 intelligence is so good that almost makes me want to actually use them. But the thing is that I cannot. I straight up can't because I have 2 strength, and they give me -4 strength. So they shall be left on the floor where they belong. Wow, funny thing that the boots were so incredibly bad. I guess we're gonna be checking the next boots that we got. And that has the Handbook of Molding, right? Oh no, Book of the Moon. I don't like Silence on a debuff. And I like Crystal Spear. Well, not really. I mean, Crystal Spear Servitor. I still have Servitor. I could definitely get Crystal Spear. I bet I can learn it, and I can just get it to below 50%, at which point the Servitor starts copying it. So I don't really have to train for it. I can just cast the Servitor. I've never done that. and I guess it's okay. We can get it. We can get it. Just gonna learn servitor right now so I don't lose it. It's not on well it's not on it is uncommon a bit, but it's not unheard of that I want to get a spell and I take a fight and like at the end of the fight I lose the spell from Vehumet. It's happened to me before. Pretty funny boots. Pretty funny boots indeed. Yeah, I find it funny how sometimes the game generates such bad items. By the way, if I had been Berserk there, I would have been in serious trouble, because the Moth of Wrath can also Berserk me. Fortunately, I don't think it happened. We are going to get Crystal Spear, as I mentioned. 94% chance to miscast it. It's okay. I think I'm gonna turn that off and turn Earth Magic on. Gonna need like 12 of it to have Crystal Spear at 50%. Let me put it here so I never cast it. That spell shall forever remain uncasted. Servitor is gonna be cast, however, and it's gonna copy my Crystal Spear once it goes below 50%, if I understand it correctly. Now, which one of these was the one that had the boots? Um, it's this one over here. Yeah, those boots better be good. My current boots are +2, but yeah, they better be good. And I would have to fight a ghost crab for them. Well, it's not necessary. I'll fight the ghost crab. I can always run past it. Wow, okay, we're not using that. Oh, maybe we're using that. I'll carry them. I'm not gonna put them on immediately, but I might use them. Once I get to Firestorm, maybe I want to put on Harm to kill things faster with Firestorm, but not until then. Okay. I have invisibility, I have 1, now I have 0, and I have a Minotaur with a +8 longsword of speed with resistance to electricity. I think that's better than the Staff of Earth that I'm wielding because the weapon is actually kind of respectable even with my minimal 2 strength, and it also has resistance to electricity, yeah. Okay, Mr. Minotaur. Let's see, what else do we have over here? File of Lots is nice. I didn't have that, but I guess now I do. Gonna use Vulnerability. Gonna use Paralysis. 41%, please. No? Okay. Paralysis. Yay! Okay, it worked. Now we are going to cast a bunch of fireballs. We can cast a bunch of fireballs against that guy and kill it like that. I can also use Condenser Vein. We got Freezing Clouds, so that means no fireball. Dang, that's truly unfortunate. In that case, what else can I cast? I guess I can cast Searing Ray. It's barely dealing damage to the Minotaur. Yeah, I would have never been able to beat that guy if he had not been paralyzed, by the way. It would have destroyed me in like 2 attacks. Alrighty. Now, I don't care about anything else. Alright, I would have to say that the loot from this gauntlet was quite lackluster. But I lived and I didn't really use any consumables other than the pretty much mandatory potion of invisibility for the Minotaur. I got some rings as well. That's nice. Ring of Resist Corrosion, Ring of See Invisible. I'm gonna stick with Resist Corrosion, and now my resistances are looking really good. I was a bit freaked out for a second. Why do I have only 1 source of willpower, or 1 pip of willpower? But it was because I had vulnerability on. My bad. I hope that you have been sorry. I hope that you have been having fun with Crawl so far. I know that I missed it. Yeah. I'm glad that I did that, that I stepped away from crawl for a bit, but I am for sure very glad to come back to it. Mm, all right. I have immolation and I have 2 pips of fire resistance, so we're gonna do that. Push monsters away. Push monsters away again, and now the explosions begin because that's what immolation does. And the chain reaction happens, pretty much everything dies, except for 2 red very ugly things, because of course they're not gonna die to that. They're red very ugly things. I got iron shot. Finally, after so long, I got iron shot. I guess I shall use it. Getting some pretty lucky rolls with the very ugly things. They can deal quite a lot of damage, but they didn't. Mm. Yeah, iron shot is a big find. I'm gonna get that. Dude, it's already castable. It's at 2%. Okay, I'm gonna quiver that. That's gonna be my new quiver spell. It is not really a quiver spell that I'm gonna be able to spam. Let's see, I can cast it 7 times. I can cast it 7 times, probably 8 times. Um, but I shouldn't. I really shouldn't cast it that much. If I cast it 2 or 3 times and I see that the fight is not going in my favor, I should definitely retreat. Because it's very easy for you to just mash the quiver button and then run out of mana and then be like, oh, I cannot fight anymore. I guess I have to use a scroll teleport. And that is unpleasant. Now, I have this one scroll of identify and this one unidentified scroll, so it is a scroll of summoning. Okay, let's go do that Lair 6 that I didn't do before. Now that I have Iron Shot, I should be able to do it without a lot of complications. Also, I guess I can do this D9 that I also didn't do before. Yeah, the power of Iron Shot compels you to not kill me. Mystic Blast Iron Shot is pretty nice. I like Mystic Blast Orb of Destruction a bit more. Mystic Blast pushes monsters away, and then Orb of Destruction just hits them. That's especially good when the Orb of Destruction just straight up misses, which does happen sometimes. Um, okay, there's Rupert here. Oh, by the way, I can cast the spell Forge Servitor. Um, I should train some summoning so I can actually cast that. It's getting pretty close to the point where it will be able to copy my Iron Shot. It's almost here. Okay. Unfortunately, I never found Toxic Radiance for my Ignite Poison. Like Ignite Poison was like one of the very first things that I found in the entirety of the game, and I never, or I haven't been able to use it yet. With a bit of luck, it might actually become usable later on, but I'm not so sure. Yeah, I didn't think that I was gonna be able to Iron Shot that Hydra. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to. Mm, I think acid kills it. I don't have that much acid, but it's fine. Oh, dude, it missed? I just don't have evasion. Come on, look at that. 1 pip of evasion, and it missed. I cannot believe it. Um, Relacon, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the follow. Um, yeah, thank you so much. I shouldn't have gone for the Iron Shot. With that 8 mana, I could have used Mystic Blast twice. That's my bad. That's absolutely my bad. I hope that I don't get killed by this. Anytime when I have a high damage monster in melee range is gonna be a bad time for this character for the entirety of the game. It's just how it is. It's just that we are almost at the point where it's just that kind of thing is not gonna happen anymore. Um, we are almost there, but we're not there yet. Mm. So I think there's gonna be a slight change of plans. I was gonna train Earth Magic to 12, but I think instead of that we are gonna be training Earth Magic until the point where Crystal Spear is below 50%, and at that point I'm gonna switch to training summoning so I can actually start casting a spell for Servitor, which is probably gonna be 8 Earth Magic. I'll probably go back to it later um, for more power in my Iron Shot, but there's no guarantees. And yeah, Iron Shot is a really bad spell for what I'm doing right now. Iron Shot is good for single monsters. For bands, Iron Shot is abysmal. I need something that hits like multiple monsters at the same time. Not something that hits one monster and misses, or when it doesn't miss, it barely deals any damage, which sometimes Iron Shot unfortunately is like that. 9 dice of 7 is theoretically some incredible damage, but in practice, it can be rough. It can be different. Um, I'm gonna get 12 summonings. With the large amount of spellcasting that I have, 12 summonings should be enough. Not only that, but Spellforge Servitor is also enhanced by Vehumet. So yeah, 47% chance to miscast Crystal Spear. Perfect. Servitor casts Lehudiv's Crystal Spear. Perfect. There we go. We got it. So now I can just cast Servitor and hide behind it and let it cast Crystal Spear. I wanted to try that because I've never used Servitor, as I mentioned just a bit earlier. I should re-teleport here. What's your chance to paralyze me? 15%. Last time I saw you, it was 20. It's been going down. Despite the fact that I have not found a source of willpower, it's been going down, which I can appreciate. Okay. Ooh, a potion of resistance. I only have one of those, so I'll go out of my way to grab it. I'm manually exploring because I don't want to stumble upon Rupert again. Rupert is a pretty messed up fight still. As you saw, it is still extremely dangerous and will be extremely dangerous for quite a while. It takes a very long time for Rupert to not be extremely dangerous. The only issue with Crystal Spear and Servitor is just how short the range is. Mm, I guess so. I guess so. But at least the Servitor moves, right? It's not like mm, it's not like it just stays there, so it just walks forward and then Crystal Spears. That sounds like a pretty good thing to me. I have no issues with that because I can just tell it to walk forward, and then if it dies, I can just summon another one. Mm. Okay, I would like to get out now. We found an Hydra. We should be able to kill it. Yeah, there we go. 2 iron shots later, it dies. Death Yak. Servitor is at 19%. Maiden cast. Let's go. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I certainly did it. I feel like we're gonna have a good time with this. Yeah, something makes me think that this is actually a good summon. Hard carry kind of summon. You know, mm, like Haunt or Eldritch Tentacle. It's starting to feel like that, and it's like my very first cast of it, pretty much ever. You end up having to tell it to attack a fair bit. Summons were set to auto-attack recently. I did see that. As I mentioned, even though I've not been playing Crawl, I've been taking a look at the changelog, hoping for something interesting to happen in Trunk, something new to be added to Trunk, so I could give it a try. But in my brief time away from Crawl, there was no such thing added, much to my dismay, so I kept playing other things. Okay, this is quite mana efficient. How much damage? 3 dice of 32. I wonder if that damage goes up with my spell power on Servitor, or how does it work? Does it go up with my spell power on Servitor, or does it go up with my spell power on Crystal Spear? You won a game with this exact summon, which should say how good it is because it helped you win a game. I take your word on that. From what I've briefly seen out of Spellforce Servitor, it already feels like a really, really strong summon. So I feel like I'm gonna have a good time with it. Mm, I hope that I get to the point where I stop getting that message soon. Yeah, it doesn't get much stronger than Servitor copying Crystal Spear. Um, I think that's literally the highest level spell that it can copy. I find it surprising that it was so. It casts spells extremely slowly. Okay, I guess it had to be balanced in some way. Um, Based upon the spell power with which you cast a spell for servitor, so it scales with the power of the summon. Okay, good to know. So I will inspect it again once I have it at like 1%, and it's probably gonna be more than um, the 3 dice of 32 that it was before. Mm. Monster spell power scales with hit dice. Um, so higher power on your summon means higher hit dice, which means higher damage. That's pretty good, you know? That's a pretty good amulet. Straight up big upgrade over what I had before. Now I have yet another source of poison resistance and a third source of fire resistance. I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the game. And regen, so pretty nice. Is this some sort of fantasy Cogmind or was that Crystal Spear? It was Crystal Spear. It was Crystal Spear. Um, yeah, it has Crystal Spear because I learned Crystal Spear for the sole purpose of casting Servitor. I um I had Servitor being offered by Vehumet, and then I went into a gauntlet that gave me a book with Crystal Spear, so I just went for it because I have not gotten much else. I just got Iron Shot as well. After I got a spell for Servitor, I think I got Iron Shot. Mm. So yeah, I'm not casting Crystal Spear myself. I'm casting Iron Shot, but the Servitor is casting Crystal Spear. I would never train so much for Crystal Spear. You know, I'm kind of allergic to Crystal Spear, but I'm definitely okay with casting Iron Shot. Um, this character looks stacked. Glances at your experience level 21. Spirit and Earth Elementals with 40% shatter fail rate. Sag. Dude, why are you doing that to yourself? How many? You have not won Spriggan yet, right? How many attempts are you at? Are you at? Because it sounds to me like you've been in a lot of pain with your Spriggans. Mm, okay. This is one of your best attempts. Good luck with it. You didn't die experience level 16. It sounds to me like you're dying in Lair branches. And let me tell you, Lair branches just kill people a lot. It's just how it is. Lair branches are pretty messed up in Crawl as it is nowadays. In fact, I am dreading that about this character. I'm playing super slow to be completely fair. Yeah, take a look at that. 3 hours to get out of the early game. What's up with that? But yeah, leaving that aside, like we are about to enter the hardest part of the game with this character. In case you've never seen anything about Kroll, we will be entering the mid game. And the mid game is so rough. In the early game, you have issues and it's dangerous and it can kill you very easily because you don't have consumables. The mid game, you have all these consumables. You survive the early game, you have all of these, and the mid game will make you go through some of the most important ones so fast. It is very rough as it is. In my opinion, it needs to be nerfed a bit. But I also don't think it will happen. I think it's necessary that it's nerfed, and I also don't think it's gonna happen. Mm. Even with magic, yes, even with magic. I guess you'll get to see once I get to Lair branch. It's gonna be rough. Okay, that was some pretty good teamwork right there. I Mystic Blasted the Simulacrum into the Spellforce Servitor, which then proceeded to cast a Crystal Spear on it. That was pretty nice, dude. Why are not all summons a Spellforce Servitor? I would love summons more if they were all like Spellforce Servitor. Though I do like the recent change that made summons be hostile towards enemies by default, because I hate that they were not hostile towards enemies by default. That was so dumb to me. I feel like with that change, I could play summons. I could play a summoner and not be completely miserable. You've splatted less times than Nogger. Jeez. You just remember it's a Spring and Venom Mage, but not an Earth Elementalist. But it's understandable um, that you think it is an Earth Elementalist. If you're trying to cast Shatter, it's for practical purposes an Earth Elementalist. I assume that you have like since you started as a Venom Mage, I assume that you have like the transmutations poison core, like ignite poison and noxious bog and statue form. That sounds already like a pretty good character, even if you don't have shatter. Um, you could even just get Iron Shot, if though it might be pretty rough as a Spriggan to get Iron Shot because their Conjuration's aptitude is absolute garbage. But you might be able to do it. And Spriggan with Iron Shot is like, dude, it's the signature combination of Sky, so it works. It works. Um, just press the Iron Shot button until things die or you run out of mana, and regardless, run away, rinse and repeat. Shatter is a lot better than you remember, down to less than 20. You're doing well. You're doing well. mm, mm, Okay, unfortunately, we are done with D, Lair, and Orc, so now we get to the mid game. My options are Snake and Shoals. Shoals would kill me really fast, so I'm gonna have to go to Snake, which hopefully will not kill me really fast. Um, or not kill me at all, I guess. Okay, there we go. Let's go, Spellforce Servitor, do your thing. Let's go. Okay. Dude, that was so good. That was fantastic. And yeah, of course, Rupert had some pretty sick gear. Maybe Spellforce Servitor will carry me through this awful part of the game, well known as the mid game. I don't know if I should put it on the quiver. Probably not. The quiver is for spells that you want to spam. Yeah, that ring mail. But I have 2 strength. I cannot put that on. +4 ring mail of poison resistance. That's pretty good. The greatsword is much more alluring, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Like, even though the swords scale with dexterity, it is still, much better for me to not um, do that. And funnily enough, I enter Snake, and the very first thing I find is a Young Poisonous Handbook, which has Poisonous Vapors and Toxic Radiance, which the 2 of them would have made this character so much stronger earlier in the game. We are getting to the point in the game where I feel like it's a bit too late for these things. If I had found them earlier, I would have gotten Toxic Radiance, I would have gotten Poisonous Vapors, I would have gotten Ignite Poison, I would have also gotten Noxious Bog because it is much more compelling to train for a skill to like 12 skill or so. 13, I guess, 13 skill or so, when you actually have like 8 already. But like going from 0 to 13, nah. I think this character will be able to do better things now. It really came to me a bit too late into the game. Regardless, let's see how this goes. I think we may be on track to finish the stream today with my first rune. And yeah, this is going well so far. Ooh, okay, I have resistance to that. Yeah, wow, shoutouts to my resistances. Usually, like, one of the greatest worries when it comes to me and the mid game is the fact that everything hits you for like every elemental damage type, like shock serpents and black mambas and well, in Swamp it is much more egregious than in here. Swamp has like monsters that deal damage of every elemental type pretty much. Um, so so yeah. Snake has mostly fire and poison, obviously, with shock serpents, which deal electricity damage, because pretty much every Lair branch has something that deals electricity damage, which yeah, it's kind of rough. Mm. So far, I have not seen any Naga warriors, and this is going much better than I really thought it was gonna go. The Spellforge Servitor is definitely hard carrying here. Um, it is incredible value for the 7 mana that it costs shooting multiple crystal spears. We just got Orb of Destruction. I am tempted. I'm probably not gonna get it, considering that I already have Spellforge Servitor, but I am tempted nonetheless. But yeah, I'm not gonna get it. Mm. Still waiting for Vehumet to give me the highest level spells so I can actually, commit to the Firestorm. It would be very sad if I was to get. Vehumet offers you Ignition and, well, not even Ignition. It would be like Polar Vortex, Shatter, and Chain Lightning. That would be the saddest thing. I would still get Polar Vortex and I would win, but it would still be sad because I started the character with the sole purpose of getting Firestorm. Don't do it. Don't memorize Orb of Destruction. I don't. It doesn't replace Crystal Spear because. But yeah, like you're right that I shouldn't do it because it's not necessary anymore. I would barely cast it. I feel like in any situations where I would want to cast that, I can just instead cast the spell for Servitor and it's gonna be much better. It is already like such an incredible spell. Dude, I find it crazy how good this thing is. Um, I wonder how much damage it deals with the Crystal Spear now. Well, it went up a bit. It's now 3 dice of 34. Um, I wonder if it will get higher. Mm. Oh, maybe I should commit to summons. Well, I guess I cannot commit to summons yet because I don't have I guess I have Dragon Skull, but Dragon Skull is lame. I don't like Dragon Skull. It is a spell that literally wins you the game because it's a level 9 spell at the end of the day, but I don't like it. It's a spell that gives you a buff that, for pretty much the entire duration of the buff, whenever you see monsters, um, whenever you see monsters around you, you start summoning dragons that cost like 1 or 2 mana each to summon. The spell itself costs 9 mana, so it costs 9 mana to give you the status effect, and then every dragon that you summon costs a bit more mana, but it's quite a lot of value for the cost of the spell. Still, I do not like it that much. Okay, we finally found a source of willpower that is not my rove, so I could theoretically take that off and replace it with that ring of willpower. I also have yeah, resist corrosion is kind of irrelevant at this point. It will be useful eventually, but right now there's not many things that hit me with corrosion damage. Yeah, with acid, so I can just replace it for the ring of willpower. Just dies to an almost a Tengu River who attacked twice 60 damage right there. Damn, that sucks, dude. That's so unfortunate. Double attack on a Tengu River. Manning Gateway. Guess who already has a fair amount of translocations skill? I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that eventually. Not right now, but I'll get that. Um, Ooh, irradiate. I might get that right now. Yeah, I might get that right now. Do it. Yeah, don't get Orb of Destruction. Get Malin Gateway. I love Malin Gateway. I always praise summons, or like the high level summons. for how good they are, but I feel like I never use them. I guess this will be the character that gets to use Malin Gateway and Spellforce Servitor. With a bit of luck, we might also do a bit of Haunt or summon horrible things, but I'm not gonna get Dragon's Call. Um, I still want to cast Firestorm, but I wouldn't be too displeased if my character ended up becoming just a high level summoner. Um, that's a beast ring. That ring is so good. I am going to buy that eventually. That ring is. Dude, that ring combines the two rings that I have right now pretty much. Well, not quite, but it does. It does make this part. It does make these things obsolete, like the the 3 pips of fire resistance and the ring of willpower is rendered completely obsolete. So like I could take off my 2 rings and just put on that ring and it would be better. It does have drain, but like I couldn't care any less about that. That ring is beast. That ring is one of the best rings that I've seen in like the entirety of this year, not even joking. And I've done cigarettes, and I've not found things like these. So that ring is crazy. Orb of Destruction makes more blood, therefore better. Hard to argue with that logic. That ring is so good. I cannot believe it. This shop has been miraculous. I cannot believe it. That's like these shops should have been in Orc instead of the garbage that we got in Orc. I think in Orc I only got like um, the Ring of the Coward. That's what I got in Orc. That's like literally the only thing that I got in Orc. Um, what are the resistances of this guy? Immune to poison, negative energy, and torment berry, resistant to fire and cold, and resistant to electricity and drowning. Hey, you know what? It's actually kind of tanky. I feel like it's gonna be a pretty good dude when it comes to fighting orbs of fire. Okay, so I bought Irradiate, right? I think I bought Irradiate. If I bought Irradiate, I'm gonna need Transmutations skill. I bought Irradiate, yeah. I'm gonna need Transmutations skill, and also maybe to forget a couple of my spells. I can forget Static Discharge without issues. Searing Ray, Sticky Flame definitely can go. Maybe even Fireball, though Fireball still has a lot of utility from being a spell that just completely ignores evasion. So I'm not gonna forget about Fireball for now. Mystic Blast, I'm definitely not forgetting about. Mystic Blast is what's been, letting me live so far. The whole reason why I haven't died yet is because of the existence of Mystic Blast. Um, yeah, that sharpshooter is a very nasty enemy. It has not only a ranged weapon, all sharpshooters generate with a ranged weapon. They also have portal projectiles, so they can hit me behind my allies, which is a pretty bad thing. Okay, tried iron shotting, didn't really work. Cast a spell for servitor. More iron shot. Dude, iron shot is sometimes pretty bad, let me tell you. Look at that. Dude, how many misses of iron shot was that? It was 1 hit, 2 misses, um, 3 misses of iron shot, 4 misses. Yeah, 4 misses of iron shot. 1 hit and 4 misses. To be fair, the anacondas do have a fair amount of evasion, but still, it's so demoralizing when you cannot hit an enemy. Mm, that's gotta be a pretty bad feeling when you are a boxer and you are like on the ring and like then you're like swinging as hard as you can, and then the dude just like weeps through everything. Um, I just thought of that because I was watching a video about Tyson Fury yesterday, and like there is this moment in a fight where Tyson Fury is against the ropes and he just whips through everything. It's like the Matrix, and it's absolutely incredible. That dude is so good at boxing. It blows my mind. You actually cannot watch anymore. Have a good stream. Enjoy your rest of the night, Star Polemic. I appreciate the continued support. And good luck with your future characters. Not sure if it's been mentioned, but Steam roguelike sale. Any gems people recommend? Um, I don't really play a lot of roguelikes. I can recommend you roguelike inspired games because those I've bought a couple of them. But roguelikes that are sold on Steam, I cannot tell you that I've bought many or that I've enjoyed many that I have bought or received in some way. Um, when it comes to roguelike inspired games, I would recommend you One Step from Eden. I played One Step from Eden last Thursday. You can still watch the replay of that. It is like Mega Man Battle Network. If you ever played Mega Man Battle Network, it's like that, combined with like roguelike inspired elements. So, randomization, um, kind of deck building as well. You pick what spells you get and what spells you can use in combat. Um, it's difficult, but it is pretty fun, pretty enjoyable in my opinion. I like it. So I would recommend that one. It's really not a roguelike, but it is roguelike inspired. So if you are willing to just like be a little bit flexible with what you play, that one might be good. Um, Another roguelike inspired game that I would recommend would be. Um, let's take a look at my Steam library for a second. Let's see. Oh, Noita, of course, Noita. Yeah, Noita is like it's like NetHack if NetHack was a fun video game. That's what I can tell you about Noita. Um, it gets carried by it being fun because it is otherwise very much a wiki game. However, you can play through like a normal run and still be okay. Okay, that's fine. That actually helps. Um, okay, this feels really strong. Um, Yeah, this feels like it's the right way to use Crystal Spear. Oh yeah, I remembered. There is one roguelike that you should get, Power Mayflesh, and that would be Rift Wizard. I have the highest praise for Rift Wizard. There is like very close to no issue that I have with Rift Wizard. It is probably one of my favorite games that I've ever played in my entire life. And yeah, I got it from a viewer. A viewer donated so that I could buy it on his first day on the stream, and I enjoyed it so much that I just gave the viewer VIP. If you ever want to get VIP, that's the key. That's the key. Like, show me things that you think I am going to like that much, and I will give you VIP. It's just as simple as that. Mm, yeah, I have nothing but the highest praise for Rift Wizard. Um, but it sounds to me like you have played it already. If you're saying that it's great. Yeah, thank you, Prince Cosmo. By the way, thank you for that. Okay. I don't want to have anything to do with those guys bunched up. The Salamander Tyrant is nasty. This is looking easy because I have 3 pips of fire resistance. Otherwise, I would be getting hit so hard. I guess I have pretty good damage output as well, so this has not been the experience that I was expecting, in a positive way. So this is going much better than I thought it was gonna go. Oh boy, that's really bad. Yeah, let's not go down those stairs anymore. Hello, Railbird. Long time no see. Mm, 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 mm. Would you consider this a lucky run, or is this my game knowledge since I'm doing so well? Well, the thing about I wouldn't consider this to be a lucky run, not by any means. It is a decent run, but the thing is that an average decent run for me as a mage is gonna look strong because I would consider myself to be pretty decent at mages, and also I have the degree of experience to kind of make most mages work. If I am forced to use summons, I'm probably not gonna make it work. If I'm forced to use only necromancy, I'm also probably not gonna make it work. And if I'm forced to use only hexes, I'm probably not gonna make it work. But I can make it work with pretty much everything else. Let's say that I never found Iron Shot. I could have gone for or Iron Shot and Crystal Spear. Let's say that I have never found that. From the things that I have already found, I have Irradiate. I could have made it work with Irradiate. I have Dragon for Manifold. I definitely wouldn't like to do that with only my teeny tiny Deep Elf strength, but I could have done it. I could have used Lightning Bolt, though I would have preferred not to do that. I have Maxwell's Capacitive Coupling, which is a spell that after a brief amount of channeling, it literally insta-kills something. So, yeah, I have things that I can do that I could have done. Unfortunately, I did get Iron Shot, Crystal Spear, and Spellforce Servitor, so it's been going well since then. It was kinda rough before I found Iron Shot. Um, but yeah, it's definitely fine now. And yeah, as you can see, gradually builds up electric charge in the caster so long as they maintain focus by waiting in place and not taking any other options. When a threshold is reached, the charge couples with the nearest foe, vaporizing them instantly. Higher spell power will allow the caster to accumulate charge more rapidly. This instantly kills everything in the game. It does have a massive downside, which is just staying still for a couple of turns, not doing anything other than channeling this. But if you can get the correct setup, it literally instantly kills everything, regardless of HP, regardless of defenses, regardless of resistances. It instantly kills everything. But it's very difficult to use. It is really strong, but it is very difficult to use. Um, I am going to read the scroll teleport. Yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Um, Oh boy, another Salamander Tyrant. I'm glad that I have 3 pips of fire resistance. Without that, this place would be very, very bad. Also, I have Fireball. I didn't mention it, but I have Fireball. Fireball would have also been, just a thing that I could do. Hmm. Okay, I stepped down there because I was within the range of the servitor. Though I didn't know that I didn't think that it could hit me. But I didn't want to run any risks. But yeah, it has. This is the maximum range of Crystal Spear. Um, Regardless, I do not regret sidestepping because if it had not been the case, I would have exploded. And yeah, getting killed by your own Spellforce Servitor shooting you with a Crystal Spear and dealing you like 80 damage when your maximum HP is 93, and that's not very good. Um, so for context, on another character that's not a deep elf, I would have around 130, around 140 HP by this point. On another, I would have closer to 200 HP. This character hasn't even reached 3 digits. Deep elves are definitely the pinnacle of frailty, but they certainly compensate for that with their power. Okay. Just gonna sit here, wait for that guy to do its thing. Um, oh, that's gotta be Bashnia's band. Yeah, there's no way that's not Bashnia's band. And also, yeah, Deep Elf HP. I got hit by 3 shots and I'm at 40, like 50% HP. Gold positive acquirement scroll, yeah, it's very likely that will be gold positive. I haven't even seen what it will give me, but I know that it will be positive. The only issue is that I don't have money. I'm probably gonna acquire money with it because I have that complete beast of a ring waiting for me in the shop. Dude, that ring is so good, it has no downsides. I'm gonna drink a heal wounds here because I know that those guys are gonna be coming to for me. So I don't wanna fight them with very low HP. This is a pretty good spot for me to fight them on because they're gonna be walking around the corner within the range of the Crystal Spear and they're gonna die like almost immediately to the Crystal Spear and my Iron Shot. Dude, this feels so good. Why do I not use this spell more? I am completely infatuated with this spell now. I would rate it much higher. Like, I already liked it. I had never used it and I liked it because of the theoretical idea of just having a dude that casts Crystal Spear. That's a strong, but in practice it's so much better than I ever imagined because it is so mana efficient. Like you're never like that thing casts like 50 mana's worth of Crystal Sphere for 7 mana. UB4's favorite spell? Well, one of UB4's favorite spells. I can see why. It's very easy to see why that would be the case. Dude, look at that! It didn't even appear on the screen. It just stepped there, and before I could see it, it died because, dude, that is so great. This is summons if summons were fantastic. Um, yeah, one of them I can see why. It's very obvious. It's also very quickly becoming one of my favorite spells as well. Mm. So now that I have this ring of willpower, I could theoretically take off my robe of willpower and replace it with something else. Um, the issue is that I have 2 strength. Until I fix that, I cannot really do that. But I would love to use troll leather armor. And yes, I suspected that was Bashnia's band. Now Bashnia is here. I can fight her, but I cannot fight her if she can shoot me from all the way over there. I need to cast my spell for Servitor, wait around the corner, and then when Bashnia shows up, everyone shoots her, and she dies. Or she just forgets about me because I have stealth. Dude, this is the downside of stealth. That you have a harder time manipulating some monsters. Super fun with Orbs of Destruction. Super fun. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like has an even higher chance of killing you. Um, okay, that went fine. Dude, that was crazy. Bajnia has like close to like 160 HP or so. Dude, look at that. 160. Big evasion, and she still died in like 3 turns of actual fighting. This spell is so strong, dude. I really like it. I'm gonna start using it a lot more now that I know firsthand how insane it is. It is trivializing the mid game. Like I was dreading going into the mid game because before I had my small hiatus from Crawl, I felt like pretty much all of my characters were dying horribly in the mid game. But this is going super well. Um, Jada's Violent Unraveling. I've not gotten this one, but there's a waiting list. Oh, I should turn that off. Yeah, there's a waiting list for spells to get. Next on our list, we have to get Irradiate, which is not gonna be that useful, but it is like it is a strong melee attack that doesn't check evasion. So it's gonna be good for later in the game for Spriggans. Like for example, right here, it would be good to have it. So I can see some situations where I would be happy to have Irradiate, and so it is worth it for me to train for it and actually learn it. Um, yeah, sometimes it's good to take a break and come back refreshed. You're absolutely right. Um, I was starting to feel somewhat burnt out with Crawl, so I'm very glad that I took a break because I've been enjoying my time with it today. Part of it has to do with the fact that I didn't die in the early game. I feel like if I had died in the early game, my experience would be much more negative. Um, but I didn't die, so there's that. Okay, please do your thing. Maybe I should walk away from the range of the Nagaraja. I have to say that when you're a mage, a snake is like the easiest branch. But for a melee character, a snake has to be one of the hardest. because of the existence of Naga warriors. Naga warriors are the worst thing ever, dude. The fact that they mighty everything, and so everything starts hitting you really, really hard, and in addition to their bulk, makes it so rough to do Snake as a melee character. I cannot. Yeah, melee characters are such misery, dude. I'm glad that I'm playing a mage. Like I also enjoy the game a lot more when I play mages. To be completely honest. Mm, okay, I'm gonna train this to 14. Mm, maybe maybe 12 because I know that with 12 skill I can cast level 7 dual school summons. Warriors are worse than sharpshooters for melee. Yes, yes. That it may appear weird to you, but that has to do with tactics that you learn when you play the game. Like you know that a monster that has a launcher will be able to shoot you. So the wrong thing to do is to run at it, Leroy Jenkins, because it's gonna shoot you like 17 times. And the right thing to do is to wait around the corner for it to get to you, and so you can just walk towards it when you are when it is like here. It's much easier for you to walk here and just tank one shot than just make a run for it and tank like 7 shots. And not only that, but also reveal other tiles that may have other monsters that may also be sharpshooters and may also shoot you. So there's counterplay to sharpshooters. There's a lot of counterplay to sharpshooters that comes with experience. When it comes to Naga warriors, for a melee character, on the other hand, it's just RNG. It's just hoping that the Naga warrior doesn't decide to be a jerk and generate with a shield or tank everything and or generate with a band. Well, they often generate with a band and hope that their band just doesn't decide to hit you like a truck, because that's kind of what Naga warriors and enable other Nagas to do. Even Nagaraja and stuff like that is safer and easier to deal with than Naga warriors. Naga warriors truly are the most despicable thing that is in this place. Mm. By the way, this is the easy branch for poison because, in my opinion, there's like an easy and a hard branch for things. And the easy poison branch is snake. The hard poison branch is spider. Spider would have been an absolute nightmare for me to do. A spider and shoals would have been so rough. Shoals is, in my opinion, the hard watery branch because everything is fast and has javelins or other throwables, and so can hit you from afar really hard, and you cannot run away from them. And there's also no walls, so you cannot like really take cover from things. Shows will be rough for this character. Not looking forward to doing shows. What is this bolt? It's a bolt that had zombie hands. I have zombie hands and a dude casting crystal spear. I like that. I like the idea. I like the sound of that. For now, I'm gonna get irradiate. Um, when things kind of jerk your servitor, it can get tough too. Yeah, that's true. Monsters that summon can abjure, so nothing here really summons, so therefore nothing can abjure the servitor. Hopefully, by the time we get to the point where we start seeing things that summon, especially nasty things that summon, I already have something better than summons. Well, not that summons are bad, but like something other than summons. Diversifying my portfolio of kill dudes abilities. Um, yeah, just a teeny tiny bit of overlap is healthy. Mlioglottl. Okay, Mlioglottl is not that difficult. It is kind of scary. It can summon some pretty messed up things, but I feel like I can explode Mlioglottl with this character. I just need to take the fight here. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Yeah, Mlioglottl dies. Mlioglottl is a pretty cool new unique. Demon Prince once possessed a hunger for power that was exceptional, even by the standards of his kind. He betrayed his realm to Lugonu, and his reward was to become this twisted mass of corruption, now known only as Mliaglotl. Um, yeah, he's not that scary. He's fast. He has a fair amount of HP. He doesn't hit that hard for the standards of this part of the game. The issue is that you cannot run away from him. If you really need to escape, you need to use a consumable like a scroll teleport or a scroll blinking. And if you let the fight go for long enough, Corrupt will inevitably make the fight unwinnable because Corrupt is just an ability that summons things. Unleashes abyssal energies in the immediate vicinity. This changes the appearance of the affected area and temporarily summons creatures from the abyss. It cannot be used in the abyss itself. So yeah, creatures from the abyss ranges from the lowliest of Ufetubi to the greatest of Hell Sentinel or Ancient Lich. So yeah, there is a lot of variance with that ability. It literally just places monsters that can generate in the abyss, which can be not as scary or very, very scary. In this case, fortunately, it was not as scary. In fact, it never really even used the ability. We just killed him that fast. Mm. So yeah, this is going well. Now, the ending of Snake is like my least favorite ending of all Lair branches. Yeah, definitely. Any ending to Snake is my least favorite ending. Even the Shoals ending, that's just the abandoned hut, where all the dudes are just walking around like nothing, is preferable over any Snake ending. Your Spellforge Servitor is destroyed. That's fine. I can just hang around here and wait for you to shoot everyone down. Pretty good. Lots of value out of this spell. This spell is truly insane. Ignition is fantastic. It is a really, really strong spell. It's not what I would consider to be a hard carry spell because Ignition is only far damage, so there's gonna be things inevitably that Ignition will never be able to kill. But it is really strong since it hits everything in the screen. If monsters are bunched up, the monsters take multiple explosions, and so they take much more damage than if they were just hit by a single explosion. By the way, this guy has a tower shield, so it's gonna be unlikely that I actually manage to hit it. And yeah, 2 Naga warriors means that I should not take that fight like that. Okay, I need them to kind of split off, or at the very least, not be over there. I can only cast one servitor, right? Yeah, of course I can only cast one. It would be crazy if you could cast like 2 of them. They're already one of the most valuable spells mana-wise in the entirety of the game. Okay. Used to hold the opinion that Spider was the toughest S branch. I still think is the hardest one. Um, Yeah, I still definitely think that it's the hardest one. It's just that the ending of Snake has always been my least favorite ending out of all of them. It's not because it's dangerous, it's because it's just like a band of monsters, and then you move on, and the layout is like super open, and then another band of monsters, and then you move on, and then there's another band of monsters. It's like that. I prefer fights that are just like crazy million monsters coming at you at the same time, because in that kind of fight you can actually use consumables and stuff. The snake endings are sorry, I really haven't talked for this long in a couple of weeks. I'm feeling it in my throat. The snake endings are are very unfavorable. Like they are always like that. Compare that to the swamp endings. There's an ending that's literally just a room that's full of hydras and, and swamp dragons. That one, if you manage to get to the room while all the monsters are still asleep, you just re-immolation and you just kill one and then you're done. And it's very easy and it's very fast, and you do use consumables, but you will feel justified to use consumables because it's a bunch of dudes. But in the snake endings, it's not like that. It's super annoying. I've never liked them because of that. Even the spider endings are similar to that. There's like a room with a door, and then you open the door, and then the layout is actually much better than this. The layout is like much smaller, so you do not get, or you do get surrounded because you can still get surrounded, but it's not as ridiculous as it can be in these layouts. Also, the monsters are significantly less robust, so it's easier to kill them. Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked snake endings. Mm. Okay. I got seriously poisoned through poison resistance. It is something that happens. Poison resistance is not poison immunity, so you have to keep that one in mind. Um, okay. I'm out of mana, so I'm gonna have to retreat. And yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Just an agglomeration of monsters that is just barely big enough for you to not be able to deal with it, but not big enough for you to want to use consumables against it. It's pretty rough. So the salamander tyrant just happened to completely surround me with lava. It was very, very unlucky, and I used a potion of flying, but it is fine. Like potions of flying are kind of worthless, so it's not like I wouldn't consider to be a consumable. Um, Irradiate. I do have enough mana to cast irradiate. Why was irradiate not in that button? Huh. Hmm. You tend to fight and engage one monster at a time. That's the optimal way to go at it. What I'm talking about here is that it's very difficult to do that in Spider or like in Snake. Like, take a look at what I've done here. Like, I was all the way over there, and I had to walk from there to outside of the vault. And like every time that you encounter a dude, it's like that. Walk outside of the vault. I don't like that. I wish that specific vault was reworked into something else. But the thing about snake endings is that all of them are like that. So by extension, I don't like any of them. Yeah, I think that's like kind of like the identity of Lair endings or snake endings. Sorry, they are all super annoying like that. Yeah, Railbird only plays human fire elementalists. That's the only thing that he plays. What are we playing? We are playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. That's pretty much the only thing that we play in this channel. Very rarely I will play something else, but the channel's been a crawl channel for almost the entirety of its existence. I've been streaming for a bit over 2 years now, and the vast majority of those 2 years has been crawl, and I like it like that. Crawl is a pretty good game. Sharpshooter was pretty rough there. A couple of turns ago, I was at 100 HP, which literally 100 being 100%. I do have regen, so I guess it's nice that it regens me to full HP very fast. Yeah, so still 1 HP per turn. That regen scales with your maximum HP. So if you have like 200 HP or so, it's a lot more regen per turn than only 100 HP per turn. What was my start? My start was Deep Elf Conjurer. That was my start. I'm still doing conjurations things, but I'm casting Spellforce Servitor as well. And Spellforce Servitor has been completely priceless to this build. I have to say. Incredibly strong. Have nothing but the highest praise for Spellforge Servitor. Okay. We are about to be done with this, hopefully. We're gonna log this. This is all the nagas that we have yet to see. We'll be able to walk to the rune and then pick up the rune and then get out. By the way, when I pick up the rune, that's gonna be it for the night. Yeah, I'll come back to this character tomorrow. This is feeling ridiculously strong. So as long as I don't make any terrible mistakes when I come back tomorrow, I should be able to win this. Yeah. If you enjoyed what you saw, you should consider following. If you are not already following, and if you are, you can consider subscribing. You don't have to, and I understand if you don't want to or you can't, but I would appreciate it if you choose to do so. You're gonna forgo your normally melee stuff, you're making magic seem too good. You have to keep in mind that I'm also really, really good. If you wanna get into magic in Crawl, I would recommend you to play Jin, because Jin is different. You don't get to choose your spells. The game gives you one spell every 2 levels, starting at level 3. So you have to adapt to what you get, and that way you get to explore and receive and check out many, many spells that otherwise you would never see. So Jin is definitely perfect for someone that is learning the game and wants to try out spellcasting. You splattered a Tengu Air Elementalist today after using MCC on the Royal Jelly. You tried to go up the stairs and died in a single turn from C3 Azure Jellies. Of course. Like, I am assuming that you got to see the dying Royal Jelly spits out 20 jellies, because that's the message that you get if you kill the Royal Jelly from full HP in a single attack. It's pretty nice. 18 jellies. Yeah, 18 jellies. Let's go. I've also killed the Royal Jelly in a single turn, but when I did it, I've done it multiple times and I know what's coming. If you don't know what's coming, it's pretty funny. I wish I had seen that. Um, yeah. The way I've killed the Royal Jelly in a single turn, I feel like every time I go Wujian, I one-shot the Royal Jelly with Serpent Slash. The last 2 times that I've gone Wujian, I've been able to do that. It's always such a good thing to one-shot the Royal Jelly with the Serpent Slash. What does it say when you kill the Royal Jelly in a single turn? It says the dying Royal Jelly spits out 18 jellies. That's what it says. 18 jellies. 18 jellies. 1-8 jellies. And by the way, that's the rune. Let me just support it. Yoink! You pull the item towards yourself. You pick up the Serpentine rune and feel its power. Press that button to see all the runes that I have collected. And since I now have a Mexican layout keyboard, after multiple years of not having one, I can now press that button. And there it is. Serpentine, whatever, Rune of Sot. 1 out of the 15 that you can get. The game tells you where they are, and the game tells you how many of them you have collected. And as you can see there, I guess it's gonna be easier for you to see it if I do this. I have 1. In this game, we're gonna be getting the 1 from Shoals, and probably we're going to be getting the 1 from Slime. There's a chance that we'll be getting the 1 from Bolts, but I do not think I'm going to be getting the rest of them. These are part of the extended endgame. You need to get 3 runes to win the game. Only 3. You can get more than 3, but that is not necessary to win the game. If you want to win the game, get 3. If you want to explore the rest of the content, you of course can do that. I generally don't do it because I find it extremely tilting to kill a character in extended when I could have won with that character in a 3-rune game. So I never go for extended unless I know that I'm gonna be able to absolutely dumpster extended, and that generally entails playing a spellcaster, of course. So with that being said, I already got my rune, and yeah, as I mentioned, huge bolt, right? Huge gargantuan bolt, very open. pockets of enemies big enough to be threatening, small enough to not want to or to not make you want to use consumables. I am not a fan of snake endings, but we are through with that. And with that being said, I am going to go ahead and go to Bolt Zero because I don't think I can still. I don't think I can deal with shoals yet. Bolt Zero. Okay. There's the Desolation Assault. I'm not gonna go into the Desolation Assault, and I'm just gonna save for now. The character is looking good. I like what I have going on with this character. I feel like it's very solid, very robust, and I look forward to finishing it tomorrow. Hopefully in a win and not in me dying within 10 minutes of starting the stream, as it often happens when I save a character at the end of the night. That happens more, even more, when I save a character on Friday and I come back on Monday. And because of that, I won't be starting any new crawl characters on Fridays. That's like going to be a thing from now on. If I have a character on Thursday, I will take it to Friday. I will finish it on Friday, but I will not start a new crawl character on a Friday. I will play something else. I guess I will be taking suggestions or requests, or if you want to sponsor a stream, like maybe make a donation and offer me a game to play, I can definitely do that. In fact, I incentivize you to do that. That will be a Friday thing. But for the rest of the days, it's gonna be crawl, and maybe I'll start earlier with something else, but I'll switch to crawl. That's gonna be how it is from now on. So not much different from before Kochmind. Um, so yeah, I already said all that I have to say. I hope that you enjoyed crawl as much as I did, and I will see you tomorrow.